Yeah, he's still in his Halloween costume. He still has that fucking hat with the rat or whatever. Nah, it gives me
Do you
tons
like
of fun.
Ratatouille?
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
definitely like lower tier Pixar for me, in my
Mm.
opinion. That that's where I would rank it. Like it's pretty like I don't want it's definitely not the last because the cars have a secure spot for like all three of them dead last. And then probably the Good Dinosaur, and then after that, it's probably fighting out between Ratatouille and Wally. But we should definitely do a Pixar ranking cast in the future. I think that'd be
I feel
fun.
like you're one of the rare ones that are in the middle on Ratatouille. I feel most people I ask, they're like
Ratatouille,
hard,
let's go.
hard on the love train or hard on the hate train.
I'm not on the because the thing is sometimes
No, I
when
know you're
like
not.
what I might like, but it's still low tier. Like I said, it might be bottom five. But okay, and here's
But
the
you said you
actual
didn't hate it.
no. Here's the thing why I could maybe hate it is because I think it is ranked proportionally. That I know lots of people love it, but it's like I don't feel like too many people are showing it as their favorite. When Taylor says it's fair, so oh, what's wrong with you? But there's not so many. It's an outcry. Like Wally for me, that's one of those where it's like, oh, there's so many people that say it's like the best. For me, it's overrated, and I like it a little less because people just like blow it so much. But no, and I would put it. It's actually higher than the bottom five because I would definitely put Incredibles 2 and Finding Dory down there as well, just because they're just the same movie done again, pretty much. So it's like at least Ratatouille, there's some originality there. So I just don't find myself wanting to return to that or Wally that much as far as the other ones. So yeah.
I had the game, and the game was awesome. So I think a lot of love comes from that
Mm,
on the GameCube because you'd play like as the rat, and there'd be missions where you're, as Remy, I believe is
mhm.
the
Remy.
yeah. Yeah,
This guy doesn't
it
even
was a
know.
good one.
Doesn't
It
even
was like
know.
that and Flushed Away. Those were like the two GameCube games that I remember just playing so much. That
Flushed,
wasn't like Nightfire or something like that.
flushed away. Yeah, that's probably one of the reasons why Chamber of Secrets still my favorite Harry Potter movie or one of them, just because I fucking loved that GameCube game so much.
Yeah.
It was tons of fun. How you doing tonight, Taylor?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, pretty good. Happy to be here.
That's good.
Thanks for coming. You're right, Maddie.
Well, that's awkward.
Nightfire was the shit. Oh, it was because I thought I had a clear go, and then Kirkland just jumped on the ray. He's like, hacha, hacha. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 425th episode of the GeekVerse podcast. I am hashtag Scott Sucks Trasnell, and I'm joined by.
From the studio that brought you Kirkland Patzer.
I love that name. I got a good
Thank you.
chuckle when I saw that.
I'm the Morbius Bilbo. Shoutouts to Kirkland Patzer, Taylor Field.
Thank you.
Why are you showing Kirkland Patzer out?
It was his idea.
Oh, like the GIF, not the nickname though.
Well, put the eyes on there,
Yeah, do you have that image on you when we talk about Morbius? You better have that ready.
I can put it on me.
Yeah, you just get ready to pull it up. Before you do that, Taylor, where can they find us? We got tons of stuff. We got a busy week. We got 2 newscasts. We got Eternals. We got the extra live stream. We got Dexter. All within the next 7 days. Where can they find all that glorious stuff when it's out there in the web? We got a new episode of Chucky with you.
Yes. Chucky every week. Geekverse podcast. GeekVerse.ca is our home base. GeekVerse cast is our Twitter. GeekVerse on our Facebook. Sure to check us out on our Facebook because, as you know, the fan base community polls are back and the Halloween one is wrapped up, and there's probably going to be a Christmas one starting sometime soon because Mariah Carey is creeping out.
Should we include Mariah Carey in the poll? And 2,
I think you have to. Michael Bublé.
Do you have a roster yet of people for the Christmas list? Because you've not shared
just
that.
Just in my head, I've got like the go-to ones, like your Tim Allen, Kevin McAllister, those kind of ones.
Please tell me you have at least Sinbad and Arnold from Turbo Man.
He'd have to be. They both would have to be in there.
Yeah. We should just cheese it and then put Batman and Catwoman for Batman Returns, and they just fucking take the whole thing. We won't. Batman's already won one. But actually, no, Batman didn't win, did he? Heath Ledger's Joker beat him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Christian Bale in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, so Batman's never won one. But I'm excited to see it. When or do you have a date when you're planning on making that live?
I don't have a day, but it'll be after like American Thanksgiving and Remembrance Day and all that.
Okay, yeah, we'll have to send us that roster. I'll start thinking of some more. Like, yeah, definitely I feel like Home Alone, there's quite a few people in there. Like you obviously got Kevin, you got Marv and Harry, and then like there's three. I feel
Buzz.
like you need a
Gotta
four.
get
Do you
Buzz in
put
there too.
Buzz?
I don't know.
Like
He's
and do you
menacing.
I think
and
you
like
put the old man in there,
turtle
the
doves,
bird
right?
lady. No, not that
The
old man. The
turtle
old man
dove.
with
The shovel.
the shovel.
The
Yeah,
murderer.
he's a
I
contender.
yeah, I still think for us though, you should put the turtle doves guy in, even if it means he loses. You know, like you may need one extra
No
pick
one's
because
gonna know who he is. Like, who's this old man?
no, everyone's gonna know. They're gonna see me like, oh, that's the turtle doves guy. No, I felt like there was some pick that, oh, what was in the Star Wars one? We put one character that didn't belong there. Oh, Shmi. We put Shmi in there. You know, if Shmi can get
Everyone
in
knows
there,
Shmi though.
not everyone knows Shmi.
Oh
Your
yeah, the
mama knows
mother
Shmi.
of the chosen one, 100%.
That well, who was that? Because I didn't see no chosen one in any of those movies. The force is still out of bounds. Speaking of stars, we're going to be talking about Star Wars. We're going to talk about Morbius. We're going to be talking about MODOK, and Taylor and I are going to review Mario Party. Kirkland can stick around if he wants to have some questions, but if not, we're going to boot him. And then yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, ton of stuff going on this week. Like I said, 2 newscasts we're making up for it because next week we'll definitely do a newscast because the stream we're already doing Dexter the day of, so we'll take like a few days off to recoup and everything like that. But it's gonna be tons of fun. That's the most important thing. Is this Saturday, November 6th, our 24-hour Extra Life charity stream. It's the 5th annual one. It's gonna be fun. 6 events, the sports title match, and Kirkland. After this cast goes on air, I have a pitch for you of like a compromise because me and Kirkland for the last choice he's submitting 2, and we're not gonna here's the thing I want to do. I don't want to be public of who submits what, because as you can see, my videos get millions of views. What what I do, baby. I just fucking love that so much. I don't want to be swayed in any way. I don't want anyone throwing some, so we'll throw picks, but Kirkland's gonna pick 2. I'm gonna pick 2 sports games, and then we're gonna let the fans vote. But I do have a compromise because Kirkland was throwing out one that I thought was maybe a bit too weighted, a bit too
Oh, come
but
on.
I got a good compromise, I feel. So, sports title match, best of 5 in Call of Duty Vanguard. That's dropping this Friday. And the first time these boys are going to be playing is against each other. And man, they've had so many juicy Call of Duty matches. Jessica will be returning for Harry Potter trivia. That's going to be fun. Saris is joining for that. So, Saris is also joining for Mario Party Madness. It's going to be myself, Kirkland, Terra, and Saris. And I can't wait to have a good old Mario Party session with the boys. Also, we'll talk about that in the reviews section. But yeah, that game is just magic. What else we got going on? I feel like I'm missing one. I know the big thing, but I thought there was one other event maybe I'm missing. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. But there's just so much happening. And then the big Dukaroo. And you know what? I'm going to save most of my comments for tomorrow because Fanboy Clay is going to be guesting on this with us. He's going to be promoting the charity stream with us and everything like that because he's leading Team Rangers. But I did see DC Alliance, and I did see that he has recruited Scott and Tim. And I just want to say that I'm very disappointed in the both of them. Scott has been afraid of me for the past, like, I don't know, 6 months. He's shaking his boots. I've many times invited him after 9, but he's scared to face me man to man, mano a mano. And you know what? That motherfucker is going down. Tim, what's Tim's problem? What the hell's wrong, Tim? I liked him. He told me no, he couldn't. He was busy, and then all of a sudden he's on Clay's team. Whatever. So we're gonna talk about that, but it's a huge roster: Marvel, Star Wars, DC. Your favorite people from GV, your favorite people from GUA, people that maybe you've never even heard of, people, all good people. You want to check it out. Lots of fun podcasters, just a good array of talent and people, and it's gonna be very entertaining. And that's going to be a rowdy 2 hours. I'm telling you right now, that is going to be with the personalities. This is our Infinity War right now. And I'm excited because you guys haven't even met some of these people too that I've recruited or Clay's recruited. So it's always fun to meet. And these are people that have either helped us in the past or helped us for the first time. So it's going to be a show. So again, as we always say, donate. If you want to see Taylor bald, hit us and get us at that goal of $2,500. The big stretch goal, $3,000. Jessica's going bald. But most importantly, if you can donate, even $1, that helps, tax deductible. But the big thing is just come watch, share the link, retweet it, whatever you can do, because it's a show. We have a fun time. And as I always say in those wee hours, keep us up. Yeah, Eternals is happening. Head over to Patreon. That is the best way to listen to GeekVerse podcast. The more you support us, the more content that you get. Ad-free, exclusive early episodes. We talk about movies coming out, whatnot. You can get the entire Harry Potter retro right now. You can get that entire Hobbit retro that we recorded a few years ago, Taylor. Right now, there's tons of stuff out there, and there's a bunch of other exclusive episodes. So go check that out. Am I missing anything, gentlemen? Before Manscaped, 20% off worldwide shipping right now. Use GV Pod. We got another fun ad read coming out for Eternal, so be look for that. And then Taylor dropped a very nice. He premiered it last newscast, but a very nice Jigsaw ad and everything. And so yeah, go do that. I'm very grateful for my Manscaped one right now. You know, like I said, I had a very, if you saw my Twitter, a very big Vision costume. You know, I had to use my Vision to get some of that hair gone because you did not want to have a bush with that going on. So I'm very happy. Taylor, did you use your Manscaped for your Ratatouille costume? What's he got going on down there?
Like down below or under my chef's hat?
I would say down below. They do recommend not to use it on hair. It's for your boys.
Yeah, it is for the boys. No, I mean, to be honest, like between the two things, I'm using the nose trimmer like every 3 hours every day.
I'm happy. Every 3 hours? What the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
Are you Tim Allen from Santa Claus? You just back and it comes back?
It just pops back up and I got to go to town again.
I'm glad you've never breathed through your nose like you have until that hair is gone, you know, but
Absolutely.
And it's just like, honestly, like not that I didn't already shave a lot, but I feel like this is just so compact and easy just to pick up and go, you know, it's just nice. That light is just a game changer. It's great, you know. I have to sometimes go shave outside if it's too busy going on. No, of course I don't do that. But Manscaped, GV Pod, 20% and worldwide shipping, not just North America, worldwide shipping. Go do it right now till November 15th. Get some cool stuff while supporting us. Oh boy. Let's talk. I got a whole section. Unless did I miss anything for you guys? Is there anything you need to shout out or I missed or you gotta say or yada yada yada?
That was beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Taylor, you hoping you're gonna be bald in a few days?
Either way, if we don't hit the goal, I'm still going to get a haircut that day. I can't stand this long hair. It feels gross. It feels just horrible. Like I need this to go. I hate it.
I like this. This is long hair. Like that's that's nothing.
It is. I hate having long hair. It feels horrible.
That's some peach fuzz.
I need military buzz cut. That's how I was like raised. I need to feel it like lice is like thriving in this. I feel like
not if you shower.
I do shower, but I feel like this is like lice territory. I need to like.
There's no lice in your nose hairs thanks to your
no
weed whacker.
Every 3 hours.
20% off GV Pod.
Oh boy. So we got lots to talk about. This is a jam-packed newscast, so let's get into it. We're gonna start with Morbius because obviously we got Boba Fett. Taylor's like, what? I want to talk about Boba Fett, but it's because we got some other Star Wars news. So trust me, Taylor. I know what I'm doing. I'm a doctor. So ladies and gentlemen, we have oh Jesus.
Oh,
for those people that don't, I legitimately just got scared, and it's not even Halloween. So for the audio listeners and for the video people tuning in right now, so it's in the Morbius trailer. There is a great shot of Morbius looking very scared and like yelling into the camera, and his teeth are fanged. And I think Kirklin at Taylor's attributing him said he looked like Bilbo Baggins. Now, Taylor, I think you should definitely post this tomorrow when we promote this episode. But it is a photo of Morbius doing that pose, but he has Bilbo's eyes. Fracture Will says nice photo. That's my new desktop photo. Maddie's LMAO. Nancy says, and Maddie says. Almost cried on my M&Ms. Almost choked on my M&Ms. Yeah, it's that is Morbius Bilbo as Taylor's nickname is, and it's a haunting fright. Like I did just jump right now. It's scary, you know. So it's nicely done, Taylor. So Taylor, as far as obviously you're loving the memes right now, what are you feeling? Because you're obviously one of the most, what is the word I'm looking for? Optimistic. Yes, optimistic people in the world when it comes to these. And you like some of these like Sony/trash movies. So like with this trailer, this is coming out January, like I don't know, somewhere in the middle of it. What do you feel about this trailer? Is this what is it? Baking your bird at all? You know, is it getting you going?
Baking my bat. I feel like it was more exciting than the other trailer, so it's definitely a step up. Okay. I mean, same amount of scenes that we've already seen, a couple extra shots.
Okay, I don't know about that. I think there's
counting the scenes as they're going through it. Yeah, checked out like on par with the last
two new things in there, you know.
Some new phrases of dialogue, but it's Overall, I mean, I'd be lying if I said I'm not like a little bit excited to see what happens because it had some moments that definitely I thought were kind of funky. It was the nods to like Venom, and then we got to see again Michael Keaton pop into the trailer. So I'm trying to figure out, and I know I've seen a few other people comment where this exactly takes place.
Sony has no fucking idea. They don't know at all.
I just got kind of confused because I feel like there's multiple different things pulled from each different I don't want to
There
say
is.
franchise, but like
There,
era
well, there is.
universe.
So we shared it in the Discord, and it's been going around. I'm trying to pull it up, but like, so obviously you got Michael Keaton, right? So he's MCU, and then you have when when Michael Morbius is walking by the wall, and it has like Spider-Man and everything like that. Tobey Maguire's suit, and then the Daily Bugle logo is from the Amazing Spider-Man. So it's all mixed up, and even then, like it doesn't for me. Well, I don't know. It doesn't make too much sense to me. And there's some things we'll do a spoiler warning because I have some things to bring up. But yeah, it's Sony just has no idea. They're like, do we have a Daily Bugle logo? Yeah, okay, use that one. Do we have a picture of Spider-Man? And even again, we've talked about this before. That picture of Spider-Man is not like it's the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, but it's not even from the movies. It's from the fucking PS4 video game. Like it's just it's just weird. Like, but yeah, that's what's going on, Taylor.
Yeah, that's a lot to take in, but I do want it to be good. Like I mean, who doesn't want a good Marvel superhero Sony movie to be good? I mean, is it going to be Eternals quality? I honestly don't think so. I mean, it's
Well, what does that
without
mean? What does
positive
that,
or
the
what does that
track the
mean?
track record that Eternals has right now, which is concerning. And I mean, I don't want any of these superhero movies to be bad, but at this rate, between like in the scale of super movies we have coming out, so we got Eternals, we got Spider-Man and Morbius. Like I would obviously put Spider-Man at the top, then Morbius second, and then Eternals. Unfortunately, is probably going to be third.
I don't know if the trailer was that good, son.
No,
I
but
don't
do you
know if
like
I would-
ratings wise? Do you feel like the majority, like GA and people, will put it Morbius over Eternals?
One, I have to say one thing as the man who you are always disagreeing with critics, and like you gave the original Suicide Squad a 10 out of 10. That was 26% on
Well, this
Rotten
is a
Tomatoes.
Marvel conversation. This isn't a DC conversation.
But hang on, if Eternals is fucking 59, this is gonna be like a masterpiece to you. Like if so, are you asking enjoyment wise or money wise between Eternals and Morbius?
Both. Give me both.
I think enjoyment wise, it could be equal, but I'd still give the edge to Eternals just because I think it's gonna have that Marvel humor people really like. It's gonna have some juicy end credit stuff. Like I swear if Michael Keaton is the end credit of this movie and they just keep fucking pimping this out, it's not going to be cool when we see Michael Keaton. And I feel like it's going to the same way Venom, the very first trailer, remember, or the first movie, it showed the ending of the movie within the gas station, everything like that. So they easily could be doing that. Money wise, definitely Eternals will make more than Morbius. Okay. I can't say definitely because we're in a world where Venom had a bigger opening than Shang-Chi and Black Widow, but I don't think Morbius has the same pull. Venom was also a sequel to a successful movie, has Tom Hardy. Wouldn't you guys both agree that Tom Hardy is a more bigger draw than Jared Leto?
Yeah, especially with the
Taylor's
Yeah.
nodding yes for the audio people who
Yes.
or a reluctant yes. It looked
yeah. But like I don't think it's that ranking because I think Eternals will have a bigger effect. Where are you on that, Kirklin?
Yeah, I agree. Eternals just has the bigger pull. I don't know if a lot of people are like me, where I feel like the peak of my hypeness on Morbius was like when it was announced. It was like, oh my god, okay, that's cool. Like that character from Spider-Man, he's getting his own product. That's sweet.
And then
it
they
just
announced Jared
lulled.
Leto and it was over.
It lulled, and then we saw that teaser, like that first teaser. I think it was the first teaser at least, where it had
It
Michael
was, yeah.
Keaton, and it was like, oh, okay, this is crazy. And then
Mhm.
it just kind of dipped again. And seeing this latest trailer, I feel like I'm pretty much like just same hype level. I am not, I don't know, blown away by it. A lot of this like Venom stuff. You mentioned like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man suit, just all of these different things like coming together. I feel like I should be more excited than I am, but because I already know from seeing, some other things that are leading up to like the big crossover event, I feel like that's where like my hype level peaked on the crossover stuff. And then when in this Morbius trailer, it's just okay, I figured this was coming anyways, and this movie I don't think is going to be anything amazing for me personally. So
Mhm.
I don't know. And for tracking with the money wise, I think it's a clear winner that Eternals will do, just way better than this. But I don't know. Been wrong before.
Oh yeah, like
Is it a safe bet though? Like just saying that Eternals will just do way better? I feel like yeah, kinda.
it's not because
No.
well, I don't know. I guess nothing's a safe bet anymore. I guess in the pandemic world, right? Because there's some stuff where it's like I didn't know what was going to be hit and what wasn't going to be hit. But yeah, I did share the one speed thing. Yeah. Um, you never if Eternals is like obviously there's people like you have like as of right now I think it's still raw and we haven't talked about that yet. We'll probably talk about that once that score sticks, but if it sticks, it's the first ever raw MCU movie of all time, right? 25 films and pretty impressive, but it's still got that Marvel franchise tag on it. Where Morbius, I just don't even I think they are smart with starting to show Spider-Man and him being like, oh, I'm Venom, oh no, I'm just kidding, I'm Michael Morbius, which I kind of like in like a bad way, but I think they are smart that they realize, hey, Morbius on his own, and I also think Jared Leto on his own would not sell this movie. But the idea of, oh, this may be connected to that universe, I should see it. It's what me and Taylor have talked about before. Sony's just leeching off Feige and the MCU of just like, but now at least they're kind of leeching off something they've created themselves with Venom, and like
Yeah.
Spider-Man's technically there. So they have every right to, and they're gonna they're gonna cross over. We're gonna get Tom Hardy and Jared Leto at some point palling around, and fuck, what a movie that's gonna be. You got Bane and the Joker, but yeah, Fracture also will this redeem Leto's terrible performance? He would have to solve world hunger, and then I would forgive him for that one. But other than that, no, it's not gonna happen. No, I think that I from the trailers, it looks like he looks good. I don't think he looks bad, but the reason is he's just playing like a normal doctor dude, and then when he's a vampire, he's gonna be caked up in makeup. So it's like there's not much for him really to, I think, screw up there, in my opinion. Like I don't think it's like the Joker where it's like, oh, it's a very deep character, and it's very layered, and you have to have this nuanced performance. No, he's just like growling and he's running around looking like Tarzan. Like I don't think he needs to be a great performance. I think he just has to be likable and maybe this is a bad thing to say. That is maybe a hard thing for Jared Leto to do, as I think Jared Leto is one of the most unlikable people in the world. But I think that he has a charisma about him that I think he can bring people in. So I'm not worried about his performance per se in this one. Are you guys at all?
Um, Not so much for like the reasons that you laid out. How it's not like this is gonna sound weird, but it's not like it's gonna take a lot to like do a good Morbius for the reasons that you just laid out. It's not like a Joker performance where there's just so many different layers to the character. It'll just be this doctor dude that
Yeah.
is probably gonna be pretty bland, and then when he's vampire, it's just caked up in CGI and makeup and all that stuff. I don't. I like for me personally too in the trailers, like all the moments when he was just Michael Morbius, like the doctor, I wasn't like, oh, this seems like a cool character. This seems like a character I'm really gonna vibe with. I was just like, oh, okay, this is gonna be probably a character that doesn't last too long going forward. That's my predictions.
It's a type of character that could, be a villain in a Spider-Man movie with like half the screen time and you go, oh, I'd like this.
Yeah,
not,
exactly.
not the main character of the whole fucking movie. But what about you, Taylor? Do you have like how do you think Leto's looking in this trailer so far? Because I feel like he's had a similar note in both trailers. Like I don't think there's much difference there from trailer 1 to trailer 2.
Looking underworldly.
I mean, yeah, maybe that's why this trailer is kind of like got me a little bit more on the excited side because yeah, it felt underworldly. Like if you need to run, do it now. I'm like, oh, I'm running, but it's
What the fuck?
it's his performance. I don't know. I haven't seen a lot with him in it. Like my only examples I can go off of with Jared Leto that I can base off is Blade Runner,
He's good in that.
Suicide Squad, and then other one that it was like an old like 90s horror movie. Do you remember? I just watched it the other day. I didn't even know Jared Leto was in it. There's a guy who has like a winter coat and keeps showing up, and it's like killing people, but like in urban myth ways or whatever. like hiding in the back of your car kind of thing. Like, and Jared Leto is like a reporter in this movie. I had
You
no
sure you
idea
didn't
he was
fall
one of the main
asleep and thought it was
characters.
Candyman? Is that what you thought it was again?
No, it was called like Urban Myths or something like that. And he was like a reporter in this college trying to figure out these crimes. I've only
Try to-
seen these
try to find
movies
it.
with him.
What year? What year is this?
He said
It's like
90s.
90s.
Oh, okay.
It's not ringing a
missed that.
bell. Yeah. And I want to address this because Hansi said, where's Jared Lego's career, which I do like that. Where I wish his name was Lego. Career going with this and House of Gucci. Looks like he's ping pong between franchise and Oscar bait. I think that he is in the he can do whatever the fuck he wants sort of stage because he has won the Oscar. He absolutely outright stole that Oscar from fucking Michael Fassbender. I don't care what anyone says. Fassbender should have won it for 12 Years a Slave. He did not. And I don't think he's that great in Dallas Buyers Club. I think he's fine. I think he won the Oscar and he also just has like 30 Seconds to Mars money, so it doesn't really matter for him. But I think Jared Leto does want a franchise. I think Joker, that was the idea to either whether it be in a bunch of Batman movies or do Joker and Harley stuff. I think he does want that. So the sign of like, hey, whether it's just an ego thing, and I know I sound bad, but it's just stuff I've heard about Leto and just the way he carries himself. It's just, I remember in the middle of the pandemic where he says like Morbius is the movie people need right now. It's like, there's no fucking way I see this trailer and this is the movie people need right now. Like he has a very egotistical way of looking at himself. Like, people may say some things about me and what I, maybe portray. I feel like like maybe I just have taken inspiration from him with my character sometimes, because Jared Leto is just, I don't know. I think he wants to be Leo and Chris Pratt at the same time. That's what I think. I think he wants people to respect him like Leo. And then I think he wants and not Chris Pratt, even though I know Hansi, you're not a big fan of Chris Pratt right now, but the way Chris Pratt is everywhere, posters and a bunch of movies, I think he kind of wants that. And I don't think he'll get either of them. I think he's like a big enough star, but I don't think he's as talented as like a Leo or one of them. And I think as far as the GA, I don't know why he's never crossed, or he was in a band, but like he has a name, but I don't think people, like I said, I don't think people would pay to see Jared Leto, even though in House of Gucci trailers, oh my god, does he look fucking good. He looks so goddamn good in that role, and he gets one of those of like, why'd you cast a skinny actor to put in the fat suit? I don't care. Hansi said down with Brad. Okay, Hansi, I'll give you this question if you're in the chat. You got to spend and you got to go to dinner for an hour with one of these people, Jared Leto or Chris Pratt. Who you picking? Kirklin Patzer, you look like you had something to say over there.
Not so much. That's a fun question.
Oh no, it's just
though.
you eating your banana,
I feel like if I was gonna pick Leto, sit down with dinner with me, he'd like put something in my food to like be weird or something like
100%.
that.
Hey, you ever tried shrooms
I'd
from
probably
Mexico
take Pratt.
jungle?
I know you didn't ask me. Oh, there you go. Summer answer your question.
Leto easily? Oh,
I don't
come on. There's
know.
no there. Hansi, this may be your worst take yet. You're gonna sit down with an hour with Jared Leto. 20 minutes in, you'd be fucking regretting that decision. I guarantee you, And like did you guys see that featurette before this that he did like on Tuesday or Monday? A featurette released before this, and it ended. And he's like, "Oh, and this world just has a web of possibilities," So, wow, easily with capitals. Well, there you go. Let us know, people. I might put a GeekVerse poll out on Twitter the next few days or whatnot. But as far as the trailer, I guess I haven't even talked about that. As far as Fractual says, explain please, Hansi. We have people calling on Hansi. So I like the trailer. I agree. I can't remember who. I think Fractured Wolf might have said it. I liked the first song better. It was nice, like this creepy organ, like piano music. This was fine. The look of Morbius is very concerning because I think there's times where like that trailer Manny Seg says I'm gonna eat alone. That looked at obviously, okay, you got Morbius Bilbo, but taking that out, that actual shot of him as Morbius, that trailer, he looks fucking fantastic. He looks scary. It looks great. It looks obviously it's probably CG, but if it is, it's like a great mix of practical and CG, or it's just really well done. But there's times where he looks, when he's just skinny and pale as like the vampire, he looks like a later on the years Michael Jackson, and he's not intimidating at all then. So he's gone back and forth, but so far I'm really liking that. I like the use of the powers and how they look. I think, and Maddie Saggs asked us, he said, do you think this will be better or worse than the Venom movies? He asked us on our Patreon. I personally think I don't know if better is the word, but I will enjoy it because I at least I like comedy in my movies, but like I feel there's sometimes like, okay, Venom, for example, they went way too over the board for me. So if I had a choice of having a bad comedic movie or a bad serious movie, I pick the bad serious movie every time because it's nothing worse than like those jokes coming in, they're just not landing or not landing. So I
Mhm.
think unless this is secretly like a comedy like Venom was, because remember, Venom didn't advertise it was a comedy that first movie, and then we were shocked. So if Morbius is like that the whole time, I'm gonna be really pissed. But I think I will like this a tad better. I have to look who's directing it. And Taylor, you did find that movie. Hey, Urban Legend is what it was. Oh, he is looking
Yeah.
young here. Yeah, who else
1998.
was there? Anybody else in this cast? I was like, let's see, Alicia Witt, Rebecca Gayheart, Michael Rosenbaum's in it, Joshua Jackson, Tara Reid. Okay, there we Robert Englund's the professor. You didn't even tell me this, Taylor.
I thought
Robert
you guys knew about this movie.
Robert Englund, who's played Freddy, and then Danielle Harris, the girl Taylor from Halloween 4 and 5, who plays the little girl. She
Mhm.
is in this as well. Wow. A
It's
college
on
student
Netflix. Check it
suspects a
out.
series of bizarre deaths are connected to a certain urban legend. Wow, that sounds like right up Taylor's field. So, no pun intended. So, Kirkland, what do you think going this? Do you think you will like this more or less than Venom? Either Venom.
I think it has potential for me to like it more than Venom. Because I don't know. I think a big reason for it is because I really, really love the character of Venom. And then when I'm
Yeah.
just watching the movie Venom and I'm just getting hit with these bad jokes that are not hitting for me, it's like, what they do to my boy. Whereas, like,
Yeah,
if they have that in Morbius, it'll be like, yeah, okay, I can sleep well tonight. I don't have that much attachment to that character.
Fracture Wolf has a good point of saying, like, I think you'll enjoy this more because you have less baggage with Morbius. 100%. There's things I expect with
Yeah,
Venom, things I want to
exactly.
see with Morbius. I'd almost be down for some of these movies to be spin-offs. It's just still weird the reverse engineering of doing all this without Spider-Man. You know, it's
Yeah.
a strange thing. And you know what, Summer Hansy, next time you're on After 9, we're gonna talk about this Chris Pratt thing because to finally close off, she says, I don't know, I just have an eternal dislike for Chris Pratt. So we'll have to dive into that in
Respecting
November.
the names.
And we'll figure it out. So
But
yes,
yeah, no,
go ahead.
just back to the trailer. Like I did like his looks for the most part. Um, I liked like the different stages of like vampirism that he's like going through. It seems like there's
Mhm.
just certain moments that he's just not doing do good, so he looks like very vampiric. When he's like ready to kick ass, that's when he like literally looks like a Batman, not DC's Batman, but a man bat.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Not
so
the DC Man bat either.
yeah, I didn't even know there was a man bat in DC.
Oh yeah.
Um, I don't know why I'm surprised by that. Should have been a
It's the
safe
same
guess.
thing. Kurt Langston, he turns into a man bat, and yeah,
Mm,
he's
okay.
looking for plasma. Yep.
No mention of plasma though, hey, in either of the trailers. I was
No,
surprised by that.
I miss the plasma shoutouts.
Yeah. But all in all, I don't know. I hope I get kind of like what I was saying to Taylor there, like I some underworld vibes from it because I love those movies. I'm able to like watch those and not be like, this is cinema, you know? It's just like, oh yeah, I love seeing some vampires and stuff like this. So I hope I leave the theater with that and it's positive, and that's all I'm really looking for. So if it's
Yeah.
anything more than that, then I'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, and like because I was gonna say earlier, and without trying to spoil Venom 2, but it's just so far the way that they're trying to connect Venom with the MC or Morbius with the MCU to me doesn't necessarily make sense because it seems like there was an event that made that connection happen. You're like, okay, I could buy this, but the way Michael Keaton's Vulture is talking to Michael Morbius sounds like he's known him his whole life. So it feels like that Morbius is already in the MCU, but he knows who Venom is, which doesn't make sense. So it just makes zero sense. And someone brought it up too, saying like, "Oh, I don't want the X-Men continuity." That's what we're getting. The same thing as Warner Brothers. Sony and Warner Brothers just we don't care. We're gonna make money. We want to make these movies. Here you go. And that's what worries me because I know people have. For me, that is a huge worry. Obviously, we have to see Eternals, but them because Feige, we didn't talk about last week. He was like, "Oh yeah, I don't expect a breakup like it was last time with Sony and us and everything like that." But it's just I still am hoping it happens because I think the long-term effects will not be good. Me and Taylor talked about this. It's very similar to Transformers, where yeah, you made a lot of money, but now it's just like Bumblebee. You saw how much it suffered, and then eventually that franchise just beat people down to submission. I just feel eventually, if they let like people like Venom and Morbius, like these characters into the MCU, which is obviously before Eternals had like a really great track record, and even then, I still may love Eternals. I'm hoping that maybe this is helping my expectations so low, but still there's Eternals low, but then there's like Venom low, and Venom low is like a different type of low, and I don't want them to go there. Like once you go Venom, you never go back, right? So I just
Yeah.
feel like I I guess, and I don't know. There's definitely three camps of people that like these movies. It's like they like them, whether it's they really like them or just like because it's so bad, it's so good. There's people like myself that kind of despise them, and then I think there's this new type of club of people that when your friend is dating someone and you really dislike that person, but while they're dating them, like oh yeah, like yeah they're fine, they're all right. Yeah, you're telling other people like oh yeah I'm not like the biggest fan, but oh it makes my friend happy and everything like that. But then the second they break up, you're like oh fuck, she was the worst. Like, why were you with her and everything like that? That's how I feel like people are with the Sony movies. That if they had no idea that Sony and the MCU were going to be crossing over, I think they'd be much more harsher on the same way they were harsher on the X-Men films. But because it's like, oh well, Venom's going to be in the MCU, it's like, okay, yeah, like it's not that's not that bad. But the second it splits, if they were to announce there's no deal, then everyone would turn against these movies. In my opinion, other than the people that actually like it, and I just. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird situation to be in, and I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not looking if I don't like Eternals. For me, I'm just worried. I've been Ralph Bonard. I was not a biggest fan of Black Widow. If I'm not the biggest fan of Eternals, and then we have Venom and his friends coming in, I just like, I just don't want it. I just don't want it at all.
Yeah, I think I keep telling myself that because they're Sony, and they're doing like a partnership movie type thing with the
Mhm.
MCU. I'm able to just tell myself like it's only temporary. It won't be forever going forward. It's not like we're gonna be getting comedic Venom for the rest of the MCU. I keep telling myself that, and I hope I'm right.
Mhm.
Because if I was going forward and I was getting like these Sony characters just to become new sides, I think it would bring down the MCU a bit for me.
Oh yeah.
And that's, I feel like it's easy to say that because it's a pretty safe bet that they won't be big players like at all in like their own in the Marvel standalone movies, all that stuff. But
Jared Leto's a fucking Avenger in Avenger 5. He's like leader of the squad. And we're like, what have we done?
and like I want to say it's 100% chance that won't happen, but you got Ralph Bonard, so
Like, we did get Ralph Bonard,
yeah.
100%. Anything else to add on Morbius or any of this stuff happening, trailer, news, stuff like that?
I absolutely laughed out loud when it was just from the studio that brought you Spider-Man No Way Home, Venom. It's like, oh, okay, I know what I'm getting into.
You know what I laughed at? It was the beginning of the trailer when they said it's like introducing the world to a new Marvel legend. It's like, yeah, all right. Did Jared Leto make this fucking trailer like a new Marvel legend? Like, I like Morbius enough, but just like a Marvel legend. Are you kidding me? There's no
Oh, yeah.
fucking way. Captain Marvel's more of a
No.
legend than Morbius. Like, oh my god.
And like just Spider-Man villains, like he's not even close to the top 10 list.
No, not for me at least. Maybe there are some
know.
people out there, but yeah, no, he's not. So well, we will review it and we'll be there in January, and it's gonna be a good review at least. So we'll be there, and we're gonna be talking about some Star Wars right after our first ad break. And we're back.
You hear that,
That
Kirklin?
was cool. That was a cool little echo effect. Muted his mic. I thought he was playing with some weird sound box thing or something.
He's got his Elgato little keypad he's playing around with.
I'm gonna blow their minds with this echo effect here.
Glad you guys don't kill time when my mic is muted and I'm trying to go everything, and they just stare at me and laugh. That's all they do. My goodness. Oh, we're back. We're here to talk about something that I feel is much anticipated for our listeners because they saw us going about it in the GV Discord. So let's talk about some Boba Fett. For some reason, I don't know why, we're having a Disney Plus Day November 12th, and then they decided to drop the trailer here. So it makes me very much think that that Disney Plus Day is not going to be that big, but we'll still be doing a newscast on it. But either way, so they put out this trailer and they decided, hey, we're going to take Boba Fett, one of the most wanted, iconic, popular characters that people are very excited for, and give him a boring ass trailer with some bad CGI. So that's my feelings on it. I'm going to get Taylor's feelings, and then I want to hear Kirk and Pastor's, because funny enough, he has not entered the fray this week, and I don't know how he feels on this. Our Discord was I would say mixed, but honestly, Taylor, they were definitely more on my side. I'm gonna just throw it out there, which they're usually not. They're usually with you because you're the man of the people and everything. Everyone fucking hates
They're
me.
usually not with me. They're always
They're
against
always
me.
no, even if they agree with me, they still go against me just to stick it.
You
to me.
coax
I
them to join
I
your
fucking
side.
built this place. You know how much I sacrificed. But Taylor Fields, what did you think about Boba Fett?
Okay.
You sounded
So-
like Yoda there.
Yeah.
I like it. I did.
Boba Fett. So we got trailer picking up, obviously, from Mando season 2. He is trying to set up his underworld of crime. He's trying to fill in the shoes and step into the throne room of Jabba the Hutt. Let's fucking rock with this. This is great. We're getting a whole deep dive into the underworld. Again, like I said in my Twitter, he's gonna be networking. He's gonna be socializing. He's gonna be trying to build like
you didn't
these
say that. You just said the characters, the aliens. Holy fuck!
I know I'm going more in depth now.
He's
gonna
adding
be
this to the thread later.
I am. Yeah. We're going to be
Yeah.
getting all of these different syndicates, these crime bosses, all these lieutenants and captains that used to formerly work under Jabba the Hutt that all branched off on their own, which I think is super cool to see more of that backstory. We're going to be getting, as Bubs is saying, it, underworld trade disputes. I want to see the political side of this, and not like when I say political, like if you can imagine political underworld perspective, like it should be like killing, betrayal. Like I want to see the seedy side of Star Wars in the underworld, and this is going to be diving into that. I love how Boba Fett's bringing this approach, like, hey, I'm not like Jabba. You know, Jabba would have dropped you and fed you to the Rancor, but like, speak freely. Because at the same time, feeling like as he's saying that, is he all of a sudden going to whip out his blaster and shoot someone? Is he just going to call bullshit? Like, what is he really going to try and do? And what is his end goal in this? Is it just to become a mobster gangster leader? Why and what is his more overall goal and campaign for? I feel like this has got so much potential because we haven't seen this kind of thing beyond like a tidbit of it in Solo live action. And whenever it pops up in Clone Wars and Rebels, like I think the underworld is such an awesome environment that you can dive in for Star Wars. It's one of my favorite things in it's one of my favorite things in video games and stuff, where you get to have like the pirates and everything along those lines. But at the end of the day, Star Wars has something for everyone. And again, I've always been kind of alone when it comes to political things for Star Wars. In my Star Wars novels that I read, I will gladly take a Star Wars book that has a political side. That's why I love Thrawn, because Thrawn has so much political aspects to it. And I love that side because when you have Star Wars in the films, you have action, you have lightsabers, you have force, all that stuff. And that's great. That's Star Wars to a T. But I hope that this show at least delivers this. And I hope that other people can see it if this show delivers this, is that the different perspective and like, again, this political side and this underworld, like there's so many different avenues that we can explore. And I think this is a great way to dive into it for the first time in live action, where you get to see Trandoshan crime bosses. You get to see all these other types of syndicates that are just going to be dishing it out and fighting for supremacy amongst each other. And you have Boba Fett with Fennec Shand, who are just the two tag team together, trying to rise up in the wake of Jabba and become this new overarching boss of all the syndicates and the former crime bosses. I just think that's got a lot of potential. I'm excited to see it. I'm super jazzed to see where this goes and what's going to come out of it. I don't need anything more than like anything further than one season. I don't need that. I'm okay with just this quick limited run of this show, and just to see how he pulls together all these characters, what happens, and what kind of references we're going to get to the larger universe of Star Wars through the underworld.
Fractured Wolf and S-Bubs with the 1-2 punch. Wolf saying we're going to get all these bosses floating on discs, disputing meaningless shit. And then S-Bubs, there's actually no action in the show at all. People just sitting at a table discussing social issues at Tatooine. Yeah, that'd be great if just like, well, do we take the he off the bathrooms? Do we leave it? Like, I don't know what we do. You know,
They're wearing like armor and everything, though. They got their blasters. They just don't use them.
Yeah, like does this armor, does it point out like male toxicity? Like do we get rid of it? I don't know. But so here's my thing before Kirk and Pass goes to counter, because I gave a very quick synopsis. I think there's some things in there that you say are true, but I also think a lot of it is you projecting of ideas that you have that you want to see on this. Because I also think when you're like, oh, this trailer shows up, like, I want to know what Boba's and Fennec's goal is. That's what the end credit scene did last year. Like, why did he go back and take this over? What's they're gonna do? Like, I don't think this trailer, for the most part, like, okay, cool, you got some Trandoshan sitting around a table talking. I think, and sure, you get that line of him saying he wants to rule with respect, but I think majority of the stuff that you shouted out was stuff we talked about when we got that end credit scene, because it wasn't just Boba kicking ass. It was, okay, Boba sitting on the throne. What does that mean? And I don't think I just don't. And like I said, there was a few stuff, but that spider at the beginning, I know people again because they just fucking cream their jeans over Cam, like, oh, look at that, that's a squirrel. It's monks that put their brains in spiders and they just watch the world. I don't give a shit. It doesn't mean anything when the spider looks terrible. That looked really bad, and I know the cases. Everyone says this, but it's just like, oh, well, the show's not finished yet. Then don't use that shot. It doesn't matter. Like, it just looks fan filming. I hate when they do that shit. But I just think also, just for the general audience, this trailer, I just think it's such a sleeper. Like, I just don't think it gets them invested at all. Because yeah, sure, he's gonna be political, but it's just like, all right, like, he's just taking over Tatooine. Cool, like what else more is there? I just don't think it sold the show at all. I really don't think it did. So Kirklin Patzer, where are you on Boba Fett trailer? The first one we got, off, it's coming out December 29th. We'll be there reviewing it, probably at midnight, tired as fuck, but we'll be there.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think I'm somewhere in the middle on this trailer.
Big surprise. Mr. Switzerland comes in. I'm in the middle.
Boba Fett is one of those characters that I always loved the look of him when I was younger. Just incredibly disappointed with where we went with his character. So I'm excited to just like learn more about his leadership style and things like that. I'm not the biggest fan of like the whole political thing in like the prequels, but I'm also not the biggest hater of it. I think when I was younger, I just completely went over my head, and then when I was older, it's like, okay, this is kind of cool. Just thinking about Sheev getting like in power like that way. So a lot of that is obviously tied to the political aspect of the prequels, which I do appreciate now. But I think for what was shown in this trailer, it wasn't like the political stuff that was getting me excited. It was just like, okay, I'm excited to see or flesh out rather more of the Boba Fett character, and just see more Tatooine, because it's just such a really cool planet in the Star Wars world. And I like that we are in like Jabba's palace. Like, Boba Fett's basically just like filling his shoes and like gonna be going with a different leadership style and see where it goes. But I don't know, maybe just because like I do really like Boba Fett, but I
Chat is popping off tonight. Taylor, you want to read that out?
the chat is popping off.
I'm gonna try and do the accent. Misa Papos, we give emergency underwear powers to the Supreme Boba. I fucking butchered that.
No, Taylor, you did
That was
pretty good
good.
there, actually. Yeah, that was really good.
I was surprised. That was
I'm invested to have a job now.
I think yeah, just getting back to Boba, I didn't love what was shown of him in Mandalorian. He is much older Boba than what we saw in the originals, so I'm not expecting like just someone kicking ass, crime fighting, and just like a lot of hand-to-hand combat, things like that. Like, he's definitely more of a leadership type character, just from the ages or that he's gone through, the wisdom that he's gained from getting an older chap. But I don't know. I think all in all, I'm just somewhere in the middle. Like, this trailer wasn't enough to like, I was gonna say sell me on it. I know I'm already sold on it because I'm gonna be watching it. It wasn't anything that got me really hyped. It was more of like, oh, okay, yeah, this is coming out. Okay, right. Jot that down on my calendar. December 29th. I thought the poster looked really good, and I wasn't as critical on the spider like Travis. I think I just watched it on my phone, so I didn't really like see if the CGI was really
It doesn't
bad
matter
on
on your phone. It's like 6 a.m. like just barely squinting your eyes.
Like, oh, look at that spider. Yeah, looks pretty good. Did you think it looked bad, Taylor? Like, is that a general consensus?
I mean, when I went back and watched it, I was like, okay, it stands out. But
Okay.
when I first watched it, it happened like it was so quick and over and done with. Like I didn't pay any mind to it. When I rewatched the
Yeah.
trailer a second and third time, I noticed it. Travis having serious mic
He is having mic issues. I don't know what he did. He's been chewing on the cords.
What would be the one thing in this trailer for you that if how do I say this? What is something you wish they added into this trailer to sell you on it?
Ooh, thank you for asking this. Yes, I was hoping for the Rancor to make an appearance. I know the one that we saw in Jabba's palace in what was that, episode 6? Like that one. Can you say it died? It got squished by the door.
Oh, it's dead.
Wasn't a definitive death, maybe, but I don't know, because they kind of danced around. Like he's blinding us with his flashlight now. Like I don't know, they were kind of hinting around. Like I think it was Fennec. Like, oh, if you show this insubordination to Jabba, you'd be fed to the Rancor. I'm paraphrasing hard there, but something along those lines. I was expecting some usage of it. It makes sense why they didn't use it, because they are trying to say that, hey, we're not Jabba. This is going to be a different leadership style. So we're not going to, like, our primary focus isn't on fearing, like instilling fear in the populace, more like garnering respect and that sense. So I would have wanted to see just the Rancor, just because that's such an iconic creature, especially in Jabba's palace. No, that being said, I loved the different creatures that we saw, like the geez, what are they? The Trandoshans, as well as geez, what are they called? Jabba's like guards. Yeah, Gamorrean guards. They look so good, and they're one of those creatures that I think I have a lot of attachment from playing like Battlefront 2 on like Jabba's palace, and they were just running around and they would just like murk anyone. Like they were just like a neutral foe. So I love the look of them, the pig face dudes. And it's cool to get them back and see them on Boba's side and this show. So
well,
what
and
about
I think the thing is,
back.
well, Tay already loved the trailer, and Rancor, that's a odd.
I was
thing.
gonna ask what if there was something that really sold him, but I guess like you said, he's already sold.
I hope you get the Rancor and like the Mandalorian armor. They got like a big one, and he's like the jetpack and everything like that. But no, I think like obviously like all of us, we are excited for this. We're gonna be watching this. I just think a trailer, its job is to make you more excited, not just okay, that's coming on. I think that's what this trailer was. I know people said like, oh, the second one will have like even this web, so they'll have all the action. I'm not looking for that. I just need like just something that's gonna like okay, cool. He's trying to gain power. Cool. Like, what more is that? Why does he want to do that stuff like that? Like, it's just, again, I don't think we learned anything too new. In fact, it's the same thing. I wanted a clear tone of what Boba's deal is. So
yeah. That's Bub's just being so cryptic. He's always pulling these facts or facts, non-facts that are like, I don't know where he's getting this from.
No, he's definitely a scooper. He's probably one of the, I don't know what tier he is. He's definitely not Taylor, who's sharing like fake scoops the whole time.
Oh, I have some choice words about that. Fuck.
Oh, go ahead after this topic. But yeah, Nancy says I agree the tone was unclear. So it's just, yeah, I don't know. It was an odd trailer to me. It was a trailer. What it felt like to me was, in fandom we just did with Flash, like we just finished film, but we got a little bit to show you. That's just what this felt like. But it's like, just under 2 months away. It felt like they just started filming. Like, okay, this is all we got. Like, let's just show them something. We have to, and here's Boba Fett. But this is like, this should be getting pretty close to being in the canon and good to go. So I don't know. I hope it's good, but at the same point, like I like Boba Fett, but I don't know. Like I'm not as big as Boba Fett fan as some other people. As I've always said, he's a bitch character, right? He lost to a blind Han Solo. He did nothing in the original series, really. So now Mando like retroactively made him a badass. But yeah, that's the point. Taylor, did you want to talk about the scoops you've been getting caught with lately?
I do. God damn. I have moved my Twitter to a different page of my phone because I'm thinking this is too chaotic.
It's not. It really isn't.
So like I'm going back and looking at this thing. It's like it says like Chris Pratt, and these logos, these credible logos are all confusing me because I don't know what pages to trust anymore. And okay, Chris Pratt has been cast as Tank Dempsey in an upcoming COD Zombies movie. So first of all, it had me at COD Zombies. Like, okay, that's great. I thought, okay, he was casted as Garfield, so maybe again he's popping off. Now, I know I am my own worst enemy for going for headlines and not reading full
Yes.
articles. But in my defense, what more do I need to read about this? Chris Pratt in a COD Zombies movie. It's not like they could write a whole like full feature article about that. I feel like that should sum it up. But now, if that's a flat, blatant lie, it's like what is this? April Fools? When April Fools they post
Because all you had
shit
to look
everywhere?
at is the handle. So like someone just changed their Twitter name to look like Discussing Film. What how Taylor got God is it had a different handle, and someone just changed their name and
What
their
the
avatar
fuck
to
are
look like
handles?
what
Your
handles
Twitter
is your
name.
at. Your at. So when it's at,
Oh
you
my
have like
God.
so like that's how you can tell. So Taylor fell for someone just disguised their account as Discussing Film and was like trolling people, and
It's
Taylor
not the first
completely
time
got
he's
trolled.
fallen for that either. I
No,
swear.
it's not all.
Yeah.
And he's sharing all this stuff. Like, what did he share the other day? Kevin Feige desperately wants Nick Cage.
Okay, yeah, but I share that knowing it was a joke. I wasn't sharing it
I
like
don't
this
know,
is
man.
it. Same with the
Well,
freaking what was the other one from
Ryan
today? 'Cause
Gosling
you're like,
as the Joker.
yeah, you're like, where are you finding these? I'm like, people post this, and I admit, like, okay, the sources are not credible for this. They're extremely shitty. But this one, generally, it fooled me. So his goal was to troll. He 100% trolled me. But goddamn, like I can't trust the news anymore. It's betraying me. And
I
again,
know it's-
in my defense, the only things I post in news related for GeekVerse on Facebook is Star Wars and DC Marvel stuff. That is it. Only when there's like a trailer that's been like dropped. That is the only news that I usually post anyways nowadays.
You just gotta
Um,
clear with us, all the times you're falling for this stuff. F tier scooper. But you know what isn't anything else on Boba, actually? No? Going once, going twice. Sold to the man in the black. All right, actually, let's take our second break and let's talk about something that's non F tier scooper, something that has some sourcing that might be talking about a new animated show. So we'll be right back. And we're back. So this, I'm actually very curious to get Taylor's thoughts on because we've not really talked at all. I think I've seen some of your comments, but there is a rumor going around that we are getting an animated Darth Maul show that I don't know. I guess it would probably be specifically for Disney Plus, but it would cover the years in between Clone Wars and Rebels, what he's kind of been up to. Obviously, you could have some Crimson Dawn there. Obviously, you could just have him off on the run. Taylor Field, what do you feel about this? Because I feel like you and I have many times talked about the idea of a Darth Maul show happening, but I don't think we thought it was going to be animated.
Well, at first, like looking into it, it wasn't supposed to be. I think they were trying to put together something live action, right?
Well, there's miscommunication back and forth. So, like, what happened was there's always been rumors of a Darth Maul show, but then we'll just say Ray Park, the actor, got into some like controversy with posting some, illicit photos and everything.
Did you
like
hear
that.
about that, Kirkland?
Not at all. Please enlighten me.
Tell Kirkland, yeah.
I love that. I'm like, we're not going to talk about it, and then you hear about that, Kirkland? Tell Kirkland. tell him the whole story. Tell him every detail. You got the legal files, and Kirkland, what are you eating as well too? Are you eating like a fruit tray or something?
It's a lavender scone.
That's
one of Shay's
not a
coworkers-
fruit.
I thought he was eating a banana lately. That's the way he was using his mouth on it. So like,
One of
anyway,
Shay's
so
coworkers made it.
the alleged story is that the actor who was playing, Darth Maul, Toad, other notable roles, Headless Horseman, Ray Park.
Toad.
Uh,
Forgot Toad.
Yeah, don't forget about Toad. He allegedly like posted some like revenge porn of an ex or something like that. And obviously, shitty move to do. You don't do that. You don't post anything without someone's permission. Obviously, the only people giving you permission are probably like porn stars or people that like model and stuff like that. So this was kind of a shady thing. And then it was kind of like, it's on his Instagram. But no, Clay, what I'm alleging is that he posted it as a revenge piece. I don't know. I don't want to get fucking sued on Star Wars Alliance. You can go on there tomorrow and just fucking say anything you want and then bring down the whole network and you'll get Katie fired. You're gonna get Katie fired, Clay. You want that to happen? You want to lose slice of film? So anyways, allegedly that's what happened. He posted that, and obviously nude photos of him, the girl, not something you really want to do. So that apparently kind of put the rumor, like the kibosh on the show. I don't really understand because I was always for recasting Ray Park and getting Sam Witwer in there. Now people might go like, he doesn't look like Darth Maul. Who gives a flying fuck? We've recasted like human actors like from Rhodes and Iron Man. Like who would care if like Sam Witwer's under the makeup with the
Yeah.
helmet and everything? And like the same way we talk about with the Luke Skywalker show that was rumored. It's like, hey, I'm fine with Sebastian Stan, but I don't want CG Luke the whole time. So the other thing I wouldn't want is like Ray Park playing Darth Maul and then Sam Witwer's voicing him. You know why, ladies and gentlemen? Because the new Darth Maul has lots of acting. Since in the Clone Wars and Rebels, has lots of acting, lots of emotion, lots of things he does with his face. Ray Park couldn't do that, but Sam Witwer could. So that's why I never understood people like, oh, well, you just use the voice. No, there's a lot more to it than that. So that's apparently why that's kibosh. And maybe they just thought it was easier to do animated. I think that's cool, and I think it's a good thing, but I also think they're leaving, like we talk about Vader, not as bad as Vader, but they're definitely leaving tons of money on the table because it might be a bad thing, but there's tons of people that see animated and they skip it. They go, it's just animated, and they move along, right? There's so many people that don't spend, unless it has Pixar on the title, they skip along, right? So
Yeah.
I do think they leave some money on the table there. I think a Darth, like, remember that years ago, like right after Lucasfilm got bought, and there was like that really well done April Fool's Day joke in 2015 of the Darth Maul Netflix show or whatever it was. And man, that trailer was so fucking. Do you remember that deep fake Ray Park face on yeah, I don't. They did just hire that deep fake guy, so maybe who did Luke better. But you remember that trailer though, Taylor? How I got really hyped and I thought it was real.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I
I remember that.
But that was such a good trailer. So yeah. But anyways, to round back, how do you feel about this, Taylor? Because obviously there is lots of years to explore with Darth Maul between Clone Wars and Rebels.
I mean, there's so much to cover. I want to know again that story that stems off from Solo with Maul. I think that's like
Sends off a what?
that stems off of Solo.
What's Solo?
Oh, this fucker. I just think that
I just want to know what he's talking about.
him pursuing this route of Crimson Dawn and just what we could get with that, I think it was just like peak. Again, the rumors are saying that Dryden Voss could be brought back into the show, so obviously predates Solo.
Yeah.
So
Paul Bettany.
yeah, I think that's fantastic. Definitely get Dryden back in there. We obviously saw him in the final season of the Clone Wars, so we definitely know at this time at least he's involved. So
you'd get what's her name too, I bet. What's her character's name? Solo's first love or whatever.
Oh,
Amelia
yeah,
Clark.
Kira, yeah.
Yeah, because there was a show rumor that she was going to get a show, but same thing. They could fold that into being animated as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's another reason why I'm excited to see what this Disney Day is going to provide, because I think we'll get a little bit more clarity on this Disney Day. I just think that as far as Maul goes, I'm perfectly happy with having more Maul. Like, there's never enough.
The chat's horny tonight, apparently.
Yeah. There's I can never not have enough Maul. Like, he's such a cool character. He's been through the absolute mill. Like, he's just gone through so much. Like, tortured by Palpatine.
He's a terrible person.
Well, he's terrible, but like, you have a character who literally did not make the choice to join the dark side. Palpatine recruited him from a young age. He's been betrayed every step of the way. He's finally on terms where he's got his own control, and then everything changes when he faces off against Obi-Wan at the end of his line. Like, he's just such an interesting character, and there's so much rich history that unfolds. And again, I'm such a sucker for that underworld stuff, and I want to see more of it. So if that means we're going to get it in this perspective of Darth Maul, a former Sith Lord, becoming more of that crime syndicate boss leader that he alluded to by starting off in the Clone Wars, I'm all for it. Travis, I feel like you're frozen. Like, you're not even moving at all.
He's frozen, or
No, he's got to be frozen.
Oh, absolutely.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's not
No,
that
he's
good, is he?
frozen. He's frozen.
You That's so weird. I feel like, no, he's screwing. He's just screwing with us.
He's just thinking hard.
Yeah, he's got us. He's got to be screwing with us. Oh no, he's gone.
There you go. He's gone. And he's come back.
Yeah. Let's get him in here. I just think, Travis, you screwed me. I thought you were like trolling me because you weren't moving.
I'm still trying to figure out what Solo is. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, I just think that
Broke
there's
his
so much
brain.
opportunity with Maul to do this series.
What do you think, Kirkland? As somebody
Absolutely.
that's not seen Clone Wars and not, I think you just kind of know a little bit of the tangential stuff you've heard about Darth Maul.
Yeah, I mean, Darth Maul was arguably the greatest thing to come out of like episode
Okay.
1.
Oh,
At episode
okay.
1? Would you
Over
agree?
Qui-Gon?
Yeah, Qui-Gon's the answer right there. You know,
Um,
and then
I
Shmi.
I think I need more to really love Qui-Gon over
Are
Darth
you
Maul
fucking
for what
kidding
he was
me?
introduced in that first
Oh
movie.
boy, that's a
You
hot
guys
take.
you guys have read the book, so you're like, I know all this backstory on him. I
No,
totally get
no,
it.
not at all. Qui-Gon's so much better than Darth Maul. Qui-Gon's one of the greatest Star Wars characters, 100%.
He brought
Chat,
the
let us
fall of
know.
the
Qui-Gon or
Jedi.
Maul?
He's
Qui-Gon or
like,
Maul?
Anakin is the one. He's gonna bring balance to the Force.
According to Taylor, he was right.
I mean, come on, that's like the first person that you see with the dual-sided lightsaber. He's
Oh,
just
because he's
iconic.
cool.
Got that
That's
look,
why.
the red. He got the horns. I'm not. This isn't a debate for right now. I am all for more Darth Maul. I eventually got to get to him in the Clone Wars because apparently he becomes a good character. And yeah, and just getting back to what Travis was mentioning on if this was live action over the animated, I feel like a great example for that would be Mandalorian. Like I feel like Mandalorian wouldn't be nearly as big as it would be if it just came out and it was an animated show.
1000%. That's a good
Yeah.
comparison. Yeah.
Yeah, so I really want to see just a good like character shown from Darth Maul, and I think you achieve that better on live action because you were mentioning like apparently when he comes back he's actually acting and like you're seeing layers of the character.
Oh yeah.
And I want to see that portrayed on a good character. And for I don't know if anyone really wants the original actor to be back, Ray, what was it, whatever his name was,
Ray Park.
so unneeded. Exactly like the example that you brought up where like people just recast for like contract issues or like money arguments or something like that. Like you don't need to bring back the OG who's gonna be under so much makeup already. Now you can easily like I feel like that's one of the easiest examples to replace an actor in that instance. So yeah, I want it. This is just rumor, eh?
Yeah,
I can't
just
remember what
rumor
he said at
now.
the
Yeah,
beginning.
and I
Yeah.
don't know because they said you were waiting for D plus day. I don't know if we'll for sure get that, but because I just don't know this D plus day. I don't want to set the expectations now because I worry that it's just going to be something minor and there'll be like little updates. So I hope it's meaty. We're gonna cover it and everything like that, but
I
yeah,
wasn't like sorry, I wasn't saying it like we're gonna get for sure Maul confirmed for that. I was saying like whatever the project is, I think they'll give us some kind of tidbit as to is whether it's gonna involve something connected with Solo, Maul, Kira, Lando. I just feel like something in that kind of realm.
Yeah, I don't know if we're getting it yet, but oh yeah, I know. Chat, you're making this was already gonna be a fun cast, but you guys are having we're having
Chat
some
is
fun
popping
tonight.
off.
Yeah. Yeah, I really don't know because it's just tough because I really felt like they would have waited. Maybe it's just because this trailer sucked. Like I could just throw it out there, but no, I just feel like they would have waited. So that's why I'm worried. There's also been rumors that the D plus day might not even be like live, or I think at least the Marvel portion's not live. It's just like going to be an upload on Disney Plus. So we'll see. We'll talk about it, obviously, and hopefully there's some cool stuff. I hope it is like I hope we get an Investors Day like last year though soon, where it's like here's a bunch of announcements and stuff like that. That was a fire day. That was a good one. So I hope we get that soon. So anything else on Darth Maul, the show, thoughts like that? All right, well then let's talk about something that I feel like, as Mugatu said in The Great Zoolander, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills because I feel like there is, a minority of people that do agree with me, but there's a rumor going around. This from Daniel RPK, so C plus, almost B tier in my opinion, that Jim Carrey has been cast as MODOK. Now I'm gonna just rant here very quickly, and then these guys will go because I honestly don't have too much to say. Just when I'm talking about my worries of the MCU, Ralph Boner, the Sony Venomverse, Black Widow, Eternals. This is another one that could easily, if true, chalk up to me being a very big worry because I think Jim Carrey is a fine actor. Now, again, when I talk about being the minority of the world, lots of people watch Sonic and be like, oh, it's great, Jim Carrey's back. No, to me, that was like, oh, Jim Carrey doesn't have it anymore, or at least not this exact way. Like, he's trying too hard here. I think that it is a miscast. Like, it's tough because I know people, I always be like, oh, that's going to be too cheesy. And people go, well, that's what MODOK is. But it's just like, no, but we've seen like other characters that could be cheesy that you do, right? I'm not saying that MODOK shouldn't be super scary or whatnot. If this is them putting MODOK in Deadpool, then I think this is a great casting. But I just think the room for error of having Jim Carrey being like a like 20-foot floating head fighting the Avengers, it has so much room for error, and it has so much, like, it just has Tropic Thunder movie written all over, and it just feels like a stunt casting. It just feels like, okay, let's just get a comedic actor. He's gonna come in here and he's just gonna ad-lib, he's gonna improv, and like, I feel like Jim Carrey doing MODOK is gonna be like if we were watching SNL. It's just gonna be it's gonna be too much. I really think he'd be overbearing. And the other thing is, I think, and someone point out, Fractual point out Patton Oswalt, and other people have said that too. I get why you might not want to because the show, and he was very cheesy in that show, but I just feel like I liked him there and I put him there, but I feel like Patton Oswalt wouldn't be distracting. I think Jim Carrey would be completely distracting. He's one of those characters that we've talked about before in like Lord of the Rings or Star Wars, where it's like you put a certain actor in there and it might be too much. You might just see that actor. And I think that's what you would with MODOK, you know? And I just really, I think if this is true, and I'm really hoping Daniel RPK is wrong on this one, but he has like a semi-decent track record. If this is true, this is another sign of me going, like, I feel like this is not the way to go. This has so much room for error, and it doesn't feel like an MCU pick. That's if Sony was making a movie with MODOK, this would make 100% sense. Kevin Feige running the MCU, casting Jim Carrey's MODOK, to me, it doesn't make sense unless it is a Deadpool or a cameo where he gets killed off quickly. But they said he was in it for multiple roles, multiple appearances as MODOK. So I don't know. I'm not a fan of this choice if it is true. Taylor Field, as we've established, world optimistic. What do you? I know you love this. I know you're just all over this. Hansi,
Joygasm.
for once agreeing with me, you know, that's a rarity. The only thing we can agree on is, I don't know, some men looking hot and that she's a criminal. That's about it. But what do you think? Because you'll love this. You're gonna eat this right up. You're gonna be there day one with your fucking it's gonna be your Halloween costume. Like, you love this, right?
I mean, MODOK has never been a character that I am super familiar with, and really know. My only experience with MODOK is the Ultimate Alliance games. That is it. I have no other familiarity with this character. Now, when you take an actor that I extremely love, I really, really love Jim Carrey. I love him just as a general person and how he looks at things. I think he's got a very, very humble approach to himself, and when he projects his humorous side into these films like Sonic and Ace Ventura and all these other crazy ones, it does something that speaks to me in a comedic way. Again, I don't know how MODOK is necessarily supposed to be as a funny, humorous character. I know that show is on Disney Plus, and I do want to watch it at some point, because I think you were telling me, Charles, it's kind of got like a Robot Chicken kind of vibe to it, but I don't know, again, if that's supposed to be like a really good representation of the character. So when I see these two side by side and they're to become one, I only have one way of going about this, and that's to be positive, because I like Jim Carrey as an actor, but I don't know, and I have nothing to base this off of how he will work as a MODOK, because I don't know the MODOK character.
But you don't. So my pitch is maybe not knowing the MODOK character, but you don't think a massive Jim Carrey head could be distracting. That's the more point I'm bringing up there. It's like,
I've never seen a massive Jim Carrey head, so I don't know how to take it. I have to see it, and then I'll ponder on it. I'll spend like 3 hours like stewing on it and be like, okay, I can do a review on this. I can speak on it.
10 out of 10.
He's gonna watch it and be like, Jim Carrey was in that? Completely not distracting.
Yeah, like if it was just his voice, I would be down for. Like if it was a different looking face. I just thinking of Jim Carrey's big mug in that chair with the little arms and the little legs. Like I think that's gonna go bad. But Kirklin, where are you on this?
Initially, I didn't really care too much. I thought that for a character like MODOK, Jim Carrey, it could be a good big name in that role. But Travis brings up some good points. I definitely do think he has the potential to be a little distracting, where you're not just seeing MODOK, you're just seeing Jim Carrey as like a strange looking dude. um, I don't know. I'm optimistic though. I am one that absolutely loves him as the Riddler for comedic reasons, not so much for character reasons. Um, I don't know though. I am optimistic though, because I feel like with Kevin Feige in the MCU, they they must have some sort of idea of what they want to do with the character if they're fitting someone like Jim Carrey in there. And now I could be completely wrong, but I'm gonna sit in that optimistic chair and just
You
be
gonna
like,
say the
yeah.
same thing when they bring in Woody Harrelson's Carnage one day?
Well, hopefully that never happens, right?
S Bubs, I'll ask you, Kirkland. Would they go for the huge head design or do something different? I feel like I agree with Hanson. I feel like they gotta go big head.
They gotta go big
They,
head.
yeah,
Yeah.
they like. There's no way they're not doing the head. I think, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's just so iconic for the character. I feel like if they switch that, I don't know. Because it'd be hard enough to follow it as MODOK if you're just distracted by Jim Carrey, and then if they kind of redesign, I'm not saying redesign the character, but just don't have that like in your face big head, it'd be like, oh, this is a completely different character than what I'm used to.
Yeah, Taylor, you think it's a big head or bust?
I mean, they've been pretty, not pretty, relatively close to the comic book esque
Mhm.
style of these characters. So I don't see them going for a complete overhaul. I mean, if you do it any other way, you're gonna probably get a Robotnik. I mean, when you think about it.
Yes.
So I feel like you have to stay true, otherwise people are gonna see Dr. Eggman.
Sonic crossover. There
Yeah.
you go.
And Freshwell said, I mean, the other thing is Jim Carrey doesn't have to be comedic. That's true. I just don't think he would restrain himself. I really don't. And especially in the MCU where they're all about improv and trying things out. And I think the humor can be a strong point, but sometimes it can bring it down. I think if they just like carry riff for a bit and some CGI suit and everything like that, I'd like the only places I could see, like obviously Deadpool, there was rumors he was gonna be an Ant-Man. So I'd understand like Ant-Man 2 is a bit more comedic. So I don't know. I just hope if it is this that it's obviously it goes well. I'm not disappointed. And it's not, and it is just more of one and done. I don't think I need multiple appearances from a Jim Carrey MODOK, but yeah, that's
Yeah. And like, yeah, Jim Carrey doesn't have to do comedic, but I feel like if I was gonna guess what role Jim Carrey would bring the comedy, it would be in something like MODOK.
yes.
So
Taika Waititi's MODOK coming
MODOK.
2025. Yeah, MODOK. Yeah, that's someone with the big head. That's the porn version. Let's take a ad break, and we're gonna talk about some vampires. So we'll be right back.
Ooh.
What?
Yeah, more vampires there for you, Taylor Field. It's your type of show. Oh, response from Taylor. That's great. And we're back. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about there's a rumor going around. I can't remember. I think the sourcing was pretty good. I think it was like C plus D or somewhere in there. I'd have to look at the full on source. But the current rumor right now is that Mahershala Ali will be making his debut as Blade in Moon Knight. And obviously, this is something lots of people have thrown out as like a possibility. Obviously, they're both kind of that supernatural horror fantasy realm. And I will give credit. I think Brent might say the same thing, but I've also was hosting a lot longer on Marvel Alliance with Chris, and he threw that out a few times. I personally didn't buy it because I actually just thought they would save Mahershala because he's such a big star for the big screen and make it like a big event. But at the same time, people have that argument, and it tracks here if this is true. Why do you cast him so like early on if he isn't getting a movie till like still another 2 more years, you know? So it would be interesting to see him debut that way. I think it would be huge for the show. Like when we talk about big moments or like how things trend on Twitter, that would be massive. If Mahershala Ali's first appearance in as Blade is in Moon Knight, that'd be very cool. But I don't know. I guess it's because it's the Moon Knight pierces me that I kind of just want Moon Knight to be kind of by himself before he gets he'll be in the MCU, but I kind of want him just to be around by himself before he starts mixing up with everybody else. But this could easily be a post credit scene, easily just be one little scene. So I don't know. I do like, and it seems plausible. It makes sense. Again, I like that argument. People are shouting of like, okay, he's been cast for a while. They probably cast him for a reason. So, Kirkland, obviously, you're getting a little bit more affiliated with both these characters. We probably will do some comic version stuff in the future. But what do you think about this as far as Blade debuting in Moon Knight if this were to actually happen?
Yeah, I quite like it. For one, just because I know I'm gonna get Mahershala like way earlier
Yeah,
than
yeah.
originally planned. So that's a positive. But also, you mentioned like they kind of deal with the same sort of supernatural type things. If they're introducing a lot of new things with the supernatural to go in with these characters, I think it's actually smart to incorporate the two characters that are going to be dealing with similar type
Mhm.
and enemies or just things along those lines, because they can introduce these again supernatural concepts like all in one, and then it'd be like these are the players that are kind of familiar with it, as opposed to having to like introduce it with Moon Knight, and then once you get to Blade introducing it again, maybe like I don't know, different but same, that line. But
Same
I
but
don't
different.
yeah, so I quite like it, and I feel like a big reason for that is just because I'm getting Mahershala early, but also just like picturing Mahershala Ali and Oscar Isaac together, like
Oh
gonna be
yeah,
some
that
great
is
on-screen moments.
That's gonna be something, man. That is a powerhouse. That's why it's like that rumored movie that they've been talking about, and obviously, hopefully, it does happen. Like the day we get confirmed that we're getting a Midnight Suns movie, that jumps up being man one of my most anticipated because like
Yeah,
just one of those characters of like yeah, like for everybody like a Moon Knight, a Blade, but for Taylor, you got like a Ghost Rider, maybe Doctor Strange, maybe I really hope Scarlet Witch gets like adapted in that group.
Elsa.
Maybe she'll be an X. Elsa, hopefully, Jared Leto's Morbius. Like I think there's so much potential, like such tons of fun like areas in the MCU you can go to that like for me the same way we always talk about Eternals where I'm like I'm not really that interested in the big space gods and the eternal like we've been here for 1,000 years. That side of the MCU doesn't interest me. Where like, oh, want to know about the fucking mummies? You want to know about Dracula? You want to meet Dracula's daughter? Like that's when I'm like, fuck yeah, like that's what I do. And I guarantee there's some people out there that are the reverse. Like, oh, I don't want like the idea of vampires and horror stuff in my like comic book movies. But for me, it's just kind of the taste of it. But Midnight Suns game with Blade and Moon Knight brand synergy? Question mark? Question mark? Well, I think it's just Blade is a popular. He's a the good thing is he's a popular character no matter what, but he's also a popular character that is like a diverse character. He's somebody that has been around for many years. It's not like some people claim like, oh yeah, Disney's trying to force diversity, which I don't think the majority of the time they're not, but I think there's times where it's like, okay, you have a lot of new heroes that are diverse. This is a character that from way, way in back was already diverse. So I think that's a big thing for them. But I think that him in the game, him in the series, it's just it makes sense. And I think Moon Knight could come out Marches, so that would kind of work with the game coming out. So I just think Blade's kind of having a renaissance, and I think it's also the casting. I think people are very excited, and yeah, man, it's gonna look good. Phil, what do you feel about this? Obviously, you're still just waiting for your boy Ghost Rider, so everything else is kind of just behind that. But how do you feel about Blade coming into Moon Knight if this is the case?
So I feel like this is kind of a trend for Marvel at this point where they're giving all these new characters again their own projects, shows, movies. Like this is like the year of MCU on Disney Plus. I feel like this is also a new phase where Marvel is kind of leading the charge more so than ever with their previous projects, where they're adding in more head honcho characters alongside other head honcho characters. And I said, like, in the past, yeah, we got Scarlet Witch thrown into, or not Scarlet Witch, Black Widow thrown in with Iron Man 2 and like stuff like that, like Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch thrown in with the Avengers, Age of Ultron. But this being Blade thrown in with Moon Knight, I think that's really heavy. That's huge. So I think that if you put him in too soon, it's going to take away, because as much as people like Moon Knight, the GA is going to be trying to figure out who this character is, try to pick up on what Oscar Isaacs is doing as his character and everything. And then when you have someone like Blade, which I think is much more familiar than
100%.
Moon Knight.
Yeah.
So it would be very interesting to see how that goes, because I think as soon as he makes his appearance, everyone's going to be all aboard the Blade train.
Well, think about the shows we've gotten so far. So, like WandaVision, we got fake Quicksilver, but you saw how that trended, but it wasn't Quicksilver. So, okay, that's fine. Move along. Falcon Winter Soldier, they didn't really introduce any big character per se that's like a well-known one, right? And then obviously Loki, kind of same. Well, no, I guess Loki introduced Kang, so I'll give him that
Mhm.
one. Kang to me is a big one. So then what do we have coming? Hawkeye right now, and if those rumors are true and Hawkeye includes some appearance of Kingpin, that's gonna be fucking massive. And then you have Moon Knight that's doing okay. You'd have Blade there, and then next year you have She-Hulk, and that already to me has like they're not like debuting characters, but the fact that you'll have like Hulk and Abomination, all these other big characters. Miss Marvel, I'm not sure. Obviously, I know like Carol Danvers is like the go-to pick, but there could be someone else. I'm trying to think. And then Moon Knight has Blade. What other D plus shows do we know about? Secret Invasion. Well, there's rumors that might include Daredevil. So you're kind of right that it seems like there is the hey, this is the character we want you to know and love and really like, but here's like the thing to get you in the door, you know. And it's just like, and some shows need that. Where WandaVision, I don't think you need that. Loki, you didn't need that. Even Falcon Winter Soldier, I don't think you need that. But these other ones, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, She Hulk, I think you really do need that. And Hawkeye, I don't think it needs that, but at the same time, like there's still I think enough people that like, yeah, I don't really care about Hawkeye, you know. But I think like
Well,
a
just having like
Kingpin,
Yelena in there, that helps that show too, right?
100%. Yeah,
Mhm.
100%. Yeah, I keep forgetting about that too. So, and even Haley Steinfeld helps. So, yeah, I hadn't heard that Secret Invasion had Daredevil. That is just a rumor right now that he is in. There's her, and then there's there's him, and then there's Quake from Agents of Shield. She's also rumored for that show. So, I don't know how he exactly fits into it, but I'm just down for more Matt Murdock. I really hope that's happening. So, anything else on the Disney Plus, Blade, whatever front? We're hopefully getting close. Moon Knight's next year, and that's gonna be that's gonna be a fun review. I really can't wait. So,
Mm-hmm.
mhm. Well, let's talk about some trailers here. The Witcher season 2 coming Netflix the same day as Spider-Man No Way Home. So you just want to fucking kill me now because you always love to do in this world, but that's okay. It's happening. A show that I watched first, told these guys to all watch. Like, oh, we'll get around to. Then once I watched, oh, it's fucking awesome. Should watch it sooner. It's like, yeah, just like with the boys, just like Hannibal, just like Midnight Mass, all this stuff. Like, just get them content, great content. But Taylor Field, what are you feeling about the Witcher season 2 trailer? Like I said, it's coming out in December. Obviously, this is a big season because he found Ciri at the end of this season, and it's looks like there's lots of stakes going on. We got lots of monsters in this trailer, actually, too. Like, looks like they're going bigger this time around. So, are you excited for this next season?
I'm excited. I really need to rewatch that first season because I'm trying to remember, like, aside from obviously certain
Great
things with like
finale.
Yennefer and him finding, uh,
Taylor just remembers
I,
the sex scenes. Oh,
oh
that
yeah,
one where she was on
oh
top,
yeah,
and then the one where he's in the bath, and then yeah.
if I remember correctly, again, I've never played the Witcher games, but that was like more or less his daughter that he finds at the end, right?
His ward.
No.
His ward.
Yeah.
His
Well,
Okay.
ward.
and you could I would almost say like eventually like adoptive daughter in a sense, but that's not like he's just his destiny is linked that he has to protect her, and that's all he knows at this point.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely need to rewatch the first season. But I get, yeah, more monsters overall in this, and it just seems like the stakes, like you said, they're higher. Like things are much more coming together. Like I hope we get more because they said like there's gonna be a prequel season or show that they've also been working on. So I'm wondering what they're
Isn't it
building
already out?
towards.
I think there's like an
Is the prequel
anime
show
already
already
out.
out? Oh,
Well,
I thought it
actually,
was a
no.
live action.
I
That
think there
movie
might.
that came out with oh my gosh, what's his name? Help me out. Vesemir.
Yeah,
That
Vesemir.
movie.
Yeah, that I okay. So I think you might be right too. That I think they've done that movie. It was an anime movie, and I think they are doing a live action prequel. And then you have this, and I'm pretty sure. I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they already confirmed Witcher is renewed for season 3 as well. So I think that's
Okay.
already in the bag. So I think they know what they have. It's funny because like
Yeah.
it's one of those shows that like if you look at the Rotten Tomatoes scores, talk about Eternals, I think it's like it's rotten. It's like just the high 50s, but that's a show that I
Hmm.
remember. I think it was like the most torrented show when it came out that year or something like that. It was the most watched show. Like it had a bunch of good stats, and everyone I talked to just loved the show. So just sometimes that doesn't
Yeah.
hit with critics and stuff like that, which is fine. But that shows like at the end of the day, it does matter. But I think also with Netflix, it's easier because you can just hit play and go. But I think they know what they got. They know everyone really liked The Witcher. They know they got fucking Henry Cavill, which is a huge win for them. You know, like you got a fucking bona fide movie star on your platform doing this like pretty much a huge action fantasy movie on Netflix, and it's just like a long. It's just I think they are very much in the Witcher business.
Absolutely. It's got boobs that sells, especially for
Oh yeah,
Taylor.
Henry Cavill's boobs too.
Henry Cavill's boobs.
Yeah, what do you think, Kirkland?
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely loved season 1. I was pretty surprised just now hearing that Rotten Tomatoes wasn't the biggest fan of it because, like you said, everyone I've talked to has loved the series. But I also feel like maybe it's got that like such a great lead in the role of Henry Cavill, and I feel like I haven't met someone that doesn't like Henry Cavill, so that probably helps a lot. And just
Okay, I
knowing
was
his
wrong.
passion on the project.
It's
What's that?
fresh with 68%. So still, I thought it was lower, but I thought it was
Still, I thought it'd be higher than that. It's kinda
audience
strange.
score 91%. But
Yeah, there you go.
they're just jealous. They're jealous of Henry.
I absolutely love season 1.
Mm.
I've read like the collection of short stories, which that first season pretty much follows, and I was very impressed how like pretty much identical it was to the books. And that was really really good. However, I don't think I've like read the ones that are leading into this season, so it'll be pretty fresh for me. And for that, like I feel like that just adds to my excitement because I don't really know what I'm going to be getting into. Like everybody looks great. I was such a huge fan of that cast from season 1. Like Jess Gear. I'm excited for more original songs from that guy, and just everyone. I think it's just such a great cast. It's a likable cast, and each character has a lot of layers to them. And yeah, I'm excited to see Siri being not so much just like a victim like she was in I don't even know that's the best word to say it. She was just really fragile and like couldn't really defend herself, which they're just like shoving it down your throat in this trailer. It's like she's gonna be a badass because she's a badass. And
I think you'll still get some of that fragile. You'll get like the scared to use her powers sort of trope,
yeah,
right? Because you don't know what, and then
that's
at the end she's just gonna pop off. Like, there's gonna be a part where Geralt is like fucked and she's gonna just like
yeah,
and destroy
that
everything. So
that scene where they're like both in the woods. I'm just gonna call it now. That's probably like the last fucking episode when they're just like back to back, just like
there's a
taking
good
down everyone.
chance. Did
Yeah.
that remind you of any scene in particular? Because when I saw that, I right away it's like, oh, that's blank, and I feel like you guys should be with me on this one.
That's blank. Like,
So in
help
Lord
me
of the
out.
Rings Fellowship of the Ring, when they're fighting that like water monster and the thing's like trying to grab them and they're like cutting the limbs off and everything, it
Yeah,
looked exactly like that, just in snow instead of water and everything. Into
yeah.
the mind, and like, yeah, just really good.
My mind
The-
went like just the end of Fellowship when they're just like fighting the Urukai in the woods. Similar
yeah.
setting, but I can see the similarities.
Yeah, the show looks beautiful as always. Like some of the
Yeah.
cinematography, some of everything looks great. That finale, like the whole season was great. Who knows? I can't remember where I would rank as far as shows. I don't get to watch that much TV, but love the games. Love the first season. I think because I did the review. I think I gave it like a 10 or like a 9.5. Maybe had a minor problem here and there, but I loved the way they played with time. How you thought you were just watching one show, but really it was the two different timelines matched together, and I thought that was really clever and fun. Henry Cavill is just fantastic. I know they probably won't, but that's the role that convinced me that guy should be Wolverine, because he's just like, he can play that just like, you know, just bastard with a heart in a sense, where one minute he's just so cold, but the next he's just like, you see the look he has on his face when he sees Siri for the first time in those woods, and it's just like, you wouldn't believe that this guy is the guy who's out there kicking ass, beating people and all this stuff. So I can't wait just to have more of him as Geralt. I just think that's a great casting. I love that he loved the games and the books and he was so into it. So first season was great. Only thing I'll say, and it doesn't matter at this point because the fans are hyped. I think people are in it. I don't know why the fuck they chose that song for this trailer. It was an awful
Oh,
choice.
it hurt.
It reminded
I
me of
hated it.
I Am a God from Assassin's Creed. It was bad. It was
Really bad.
yeah, I don't know why. It just, because it's funny, it's like a almost 3 minute trailer, and like the first half feels like The Witcher and has Witcher like score and music, like okay, here we go. And then it's just like and just like there's rap, and I think was it Jay-Z maybe actually?
Jay-Z was in there,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it took me out, and it's like, unless you're Knight's Tale, you don't want to be doing that sort of gimmick. So I really did not like that. Really did not like that. But at the end of the day, it's just the trailer, so whatever. That's how I feel like they are trying to make Netflix is trying to make this their huge, like I said, action supernatural budget film of like, hey, like this is Lord of the Rings, this is Game of Thrones, right? Difference is Game of Thrones never had fucking Jay-Z over top of it, so that did get like it
Had Ed
literally.
Sheeran.
Yeah, but like even that was like the right choice and the right vibe and everything like that. This is just, hey, you're going back with that person you really want to have some fun with. You want to do some Witcher action with them, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna be right back and use the washroom. And then you come back in the bedroom, they're asleep. And you're like, okay, well, I guess I'm going home. And that's what this was like. I'm getting really excited by this trailer, and then that music hit. I was like, oh, just like big mood kill. Like, okay, well, nothing's happening tonight. See you tomorrow, and that like I'll see you in December. When this hopefully that track is not on the show, because fuck me, that's not
I don't think it would be. I think it's
No.
one of those things where it's just attached to the trailer. Probably not gonna watch the trailer too much once the show's out, so you can forget about it.
Yeah.
I think the show's hot enough for me that I'd be like, I can do this still. The song's not making me just
Yeah, that's true.
not working out tonight.
Anything else on the Witcher? No,
Excited.
we'll be reviewing that. Well, I'll be reviewing that. See if I'm going to be alone this time. See if these chaps are going to join me. But I'm excited. I can't wait. It's going to be a good time. What I can wait for, but I think this is right up Taylor's alley. So the reason I got us to watch this trailer is because we talked about it on After 9 as just like a joke, and we were laughing about whatnot. And it's so funny that the world wants to hear us because boom, we got a trailer for Moonfall, a movie that was misinterpreted that I thought it was just about the moon falling, but no. It's something that Donald Sutherland says is, that moment when we land on the moon and we were gone for 2 minutes, that wasn't real. That didn't happen. Because I guess what it was is there was some Terrigen or something really bad on the moon that we contained, but it's out now and it's coming for us. And this just, excuse me, this just looks fucking batshit bonkers. This is a movie that, again, if I was like single and I would see a bunch of movies, I probably would go just to laugh and have some fun. But when I have to pick my time wisely nowadays in my life and what I see is somebody that still doesn't even see in The Last Duel, which I'm very excited to see at some point, and other movies I still got to get around to, and I still haven't finished Guardian, stuff like that. I think this is so dumb that I don't think I'll get there. This is obviously this Roland Emmerich. He's did Independence Day. He did 2012, all that type of stuff. I just think that very good show. The moon was built by the aliens to sell the Moon Knight comics. Very good, S-Bubs. And there's a great, and then last run, Jeff Lemar's run of the moon and the Werewolf by Night kind of stuff. Everyone go read that run. It's great. But I'm just shocked at Halle Berry's in this. I know she's not as popular in What You're Talking About on After Night as she once was, but I still don't think she's this level. Like Patrick Wilson, he'll do fucking anything. He'll do Conjuring, he'll do Aquaman, he'll do this. So that makes sense. Donald Sutherland, fine. But like Halle Berry, seeing her this, I'm just like, man, like this is definitely, how she directed that movie for Netflix. It's like, this is like she did this movie so she could make sure she make enough money and then she go do that. But I think if you like this type of film, you'll be in for it. And I'm gonna throw the person I think could like this type of film, Taylor Field. How do you feel about Moonfall?
So, yeah, I tuned into the trailer because I was very, very curious, and obviously we had to talk about it. But I found it to be quite surprising. I took your word for it. Like, okay, the moon's obviously going to be breaking apart. I thought, okay, we're going to get some time machine set up where they're drilling on the moon or something in the future, and it's breaking apart, coming down to Earth. But we're getting a lot of end of the world kind of stuff in this, but it's definitely alien-like. It just looks like, okay, the whole moon is a construct, it seems, from some weird alien-like creation. I don't know, but I'm super, super excited to find out. The visuals just look absolutely fantastic. I love that we got the Night's Watch. What is his name? Oh,
Sam.
Help me, Kirklin.
Sam.
Yes, thank you, Travis.
You're welcome.
Fuck off. Help me, Kirklin. Help me, Kirklin.
You're my
Kirklin
only
fucking
hope.
played catch up on Game of Thrones. I was in that shit since day one. I was in the fight since day one. You know how much
There
I
you go.
sacrificed? I started this company.
I don't want
I was
it.
watching Game of Thrones.
Kirkland's always
probably
dropping
before
the "I don't
Taylor.
want it" memes. I thought he could just whip that out of his back pocket, but he
No, he's
failed.
always dropping the fucking the hand of Rohan or whatever. Like that's who he's. The
Denethor.
steward.
Oh.
Bring wood and
Steward.
oil.
But yeah, the trailer looks awesome. Like you're gonna get what you're gonna get with this movie. If you're going and expecting great character development, great storylines, I'm sorry, that's not gonna be this movie. If you want to just sit there and just turn your brain off and just literally watch the destruction of the earth with some cliche quick escape saving planet cure, that's what you're gonna get. With some good actors that'll, like you said, Travis, will do anything. So let's have at it. Let's just fucking
We'll
just
do
not give a
anything.
shit. Let's watch the earth get fucked and just enjoy it for what it is.
Oh,
God
we'll do
damn.
anything. Do anything.
Kirkland, you
Just need
yeah,
money.
do anything. Well, if you watch Monster Ball, it might be true. Kirkland, do you want to watch the Earth get fucked?
This definitely fits into the
Deep
category of
penetration,
movies like
Raw Dog.
2012, San Andreas, like those types of world-ending movies.
He made
And-
2012.
oh, this guy did. Okay, that makes
Yes.
sense.
Yeah.
And there, for some reason, there was a period of my life where I just loved those movies. I would just put them on, and it would just be like majority of it's CGI, and it's just like these like action heavy sequences. And I love them for a good chunk of my life. I feel like now, with the limited time I have, which is podcasting, watching movies for the podcast, I think this one's going to slip through the cracks, unfortunately, because I'm not gonna go out and like buy this. If this is eventually on like Netflix or something,
Mhm.
and like maybe I'm sick like one evening, it's like, oh, what do I want to put on that I don't really have to focus too hard? I think this would fit in, just like
Yeah.
how I was describing the movies 2012, San Andreas, like those fit into that category. But yeah, not a lot of excitement with this. It's a wild concept, but yeah.
Well, that's Moonfall. So maybe you'll just hear someone mention it on a cast one. Says I don't think it'll be getting a review, but I think we've seen the movie. We know what the movie is. We saw the entire movie from the trailer. But yeah, good thing you're in the chat there, Dylan. We're about to talk about some Mario Party. So Kirkland Pats, are you wanting to bounce or you want to stick around for some Mario Party? What are you wanting to do, huh?
Yeah, I'll hang around. I played it.
Okay. You
I
played
own
it?
it. I own it.
You
The
bought
new
it.
one?
Yeah.
You bought it. Didn't you? Where were
You
you?
did?
You missed this? We had a whole
Yeah.
conversation about it.
Yeah, we did.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we had a whole conversation. We're like, yeah, we're
No,
going
it's
to
in the
play.
main
And Jessica's
chat.
like, I'm the only one who doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Fuck you,
Yeah.
Jessica.
If you have me, I'll stay.
Oh, I think I remember that. I think I was tired. No, she's like, I guess I'll just watch the stream. It's like, we're not barring you from like buying a game and
girls
playing with
allowed.
it. Yeah, no girls allowed in Mario Party. We never let anyone play as Peach. Okay, well, no, I didn't even know that. I didn't leave for. Oh, I didn't have to leave in a bit to hop on talk about Mario Party. It's great. So let's take our final break. Yeah, let's talk about some Mario Party. I'm excited to do that. So we'll be right back. All right, and we're back. So yeah, no, I apologize, Kirkland. I guess it's been a long week. Okay, it's been a long week.
It was a
It's been-
busy weekend.
It's been a busy weekend. Unions are fun. Lots of good stuff popping off. But S Bub says just watch Moonfall trailer right now. Looks like some type of alien nanobot gravity control thing or something else. I don't know. Yeah, I think you're probably about right. That's probably about it. But you know what is something that I'm not worried about is Mario Party Superstars. This is a game that I've said it many times, so I'm selling broken record. I think I talked about this on the very first cast we did for GeekVerse.ca, and I said that I just want them to make the old games, but just remaster them, do them up, and I pretty much got that. And it's so funny that because Dylan has it, Kirkland has it, Taylor has it, I have it, so it's just like I guarantee it's gonna do gangbusters, like sales wise and everything. But this is like, and this is why we're gonna obviously there'll be a cutout of this, but this is why it's in a newscast. Obviously, you've played Mario Party before. If you've played it, you like it. This is that. But this is just, I will give them the credit. It's much like the last Smash game too. It just feels like they've put a lot of love into this, and it's just they knew exactly who they're making it for. Because I always do worry, right? Like, okay, we're gonna make the new Mario, like the old Mario Parties, like a remaster, and it's like, sometimes Nintendo just gets in front of themselves and they ruin the experience, or they kind of put too much into it, or they just they just get in their own way, and they do this lots of times where it's like, oh, this was almost great, but you had to do this. And I feel like this time they didn't. They just stripped all down. Like, no, let's do the mini games are going to control the exact same way. The boards are going to be 90% the same thing, and we're just going to do that. And we're literally just going to make it, HD 1080, everything like that. Let's go. So yeah, and Dilma says we gotta do a 4-man online game. Absolutely. I still gotta find out if you can have 2 people in a lobby and play online. Me and Taylor said we think
You
we do
can.
that.
I
think
did
you
it. I
can,
did it.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. So not that we're not gonna do the 4-man one, but that's perfect because then I can beat Kirkland and Shay, and then I can beat Madison and Taya, then I can beat Muds and Dylan, and me and Emily will just reign supreme. But that's fucking awesome. Like this is definitely, and we're playing it obviously on the charity stream. Check that out if you're listening to the cutout. November 6th is gonna be us three versus Saris, not in a handicap match, just a fatal forward. But yeah, I can't say enough good things about it. This is everything I wanted. And me and Emily spent lots of the weekend playing this. We're going to be doing this. I hope that there is going to be DLC for this because I'll pay everything. And it's great. Like, yeah, there's some stuff like Horrorland, like you don't change in the witch costume, but that's completely fine. I love too that maybe I just misheard it, that I thought it was just going to be the N64 games, which I completely wanted. But the fact that you got N64, GameCube, Wii U, it's just awesome. It feels like this big celebration of Mario Party. And it's funny that they did that with this and Smash, where you almost feel like I never got to buy a Mario Party game ever again. Like this is like
Yeah.
this is the complete edition. But it's just what the best way I can describe it is a love letter to Mario Party, and that is everything I wanted. So Taylor, how you feeling about Mario Party Superstar so far? But just under a week into it.
I mean, it's awesome. It is so freaking awesome. Going into this, I got to set up again my profile, like my player card. You have levels up. You can get like your title change on your player card, but it's cool. I went right on my player card. I put in like Mario Party 7 because that's one of my favorite Mario parties. Put in like your favorite mini games, just kind of deck it out, make it cool and unique to yourself, and then you can go in and customize other things, unlock like the soundtracks, a lot of classic Mario Party things that the older Mario parties had, but it just has such a awesome compilation of everything, as it is literally all the Mario parties put together, primarily focusing again on like the first three, with the exception of all the mini games, I guess you could say, like select mini games from all the other titles. But it's just such a great time. I've been having so much fun playing with Madison, and it just has that element that is so like classic and difficult. Playing the other one on Switch, it is insanely easy and you just rack up the stars like no tomorrow. But this one, like, it's a grind. You got to really like strategically play, and I love that aspect to this so much. Again, the other Mario Party, it had the online, and me and Madison, we would always do like online playing with friends and stuff like that. And I'm so glad that they took that and they ran with it and put it into this. And they escalated a little bit, because with these maps, you can set up more of the rules a little bit more in depth. Like in previous Mario parties, you could choose obviously your turns, the difficulty of the characters, all that stuff. But now we're one step ahead in this sense, because we can choose which era of video games we want. We want mini games based on skill level, mini games based on the certain Mario Party title, and that customizable
family games.
Yeah, that customizable aspect I think is great, because we're one step closer to getting literally a Mario Party creator, which I don't think is out of the realm of possibility whatsoever for Nintendo. I think that would be like the creme de la creme, because we got Mario Maker.
Getting me going
so
here.
Like that would just be absolute peak. And I can imagine like just the amazing boards you could do and share with everyone, and just like to game. Like it would be so cool. It would be amazing. But that aside, this game as itself, like it shows the stills from the maps and like their OG graphics. It shows
It's so cool.
It's so good. The updatedness to these maps is great. The nostalgia just kicks in hard. And there's a lot of these titles that I never got to experience back in the day. Like a lot of these for the original first Super Mario Party. There's a lot of content that I never got to dabble in. It's revised. It's like redone, and I love it. I love it so much. And a lot of this was just unsuspected. Again, we got classic characters back in. Donkey Kong, Birdo's in there. It's just so cool to have like these characters tossed into the mix. So
well, and then you got stuff for me, like me and Taylor, big Waluigi guys. So it's so cool to play Waluigi in like the classic N64 era where he was not around. You know, it's just it's just that really cool stuff. In fact, Wolf, I agree with him. He says he really enjoyed the 2v2 mode in the previous one. But it's a small sacrifice. I agree, and that's where if Taylor's right, we get a Mario Party Maker mode in the future. That'd be great. But the same thing, that's great, because now, okay, I don't have 2v2 on this game, but that's why Super Mario Party, it's not like extinct or anything, because like it has that option. Like we played that on the stream a few months ago with you, me, Saris, and Kirklin. Like that, I actually really do love the 2v2, because it does add a new dynamic, and that's really fun. And just especially, I will go down and say that is the greatest Mario Party game in history, the one we played back in June. There's no Mario Party close to that game, I'm telling you, but I really like that. But at the same time, it's you know, we still got that. You just plug that at one in. If you want to play some 2v2 action, it's good to go, you know?
Last thing to cap out my thoughts here is just that I love the amount of depth that this has, even in terms of like the items. There were so many things that I wasn't expecting to see. Like, again, I don't know I can't remember exactly what items were brought back from the originals, but like seeing some things like, okay, the golden pipe coming back, which I only associated really with like the last Switch title. So
I
those and
haven't
other
gotten that one
items.
yet. I've been getting a lot of similar ones, unfortunately. So I'm hoping that
Okay.
changes up. Yeah.
Mhm.
Kirklin Batzer.
Yeah, no, I wasn't initially gonna get this one, and then we had some friends coming over for Halloween festivities, and it's like, oh, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna play? It's like, well, I know it just came out, Super Mario Party, a game that anyone and everyone can play.
Mhm.
And yeah, no, I was so happy with it from the get go. I just love like the incorporation of like all the different types of mini games from like all these other titles. It's just it's so sweet, like what Travis said. Like I feel like I don't ever have to get another Mario Party because this is just like a very nice, smooth, refined version of all these old classics. And like just getting into a game, it's just so like quick and easy. It's very easy to pick like all your settings that you want. If you're playing with, I don't know, like younger kids or something, you can just set to like the family mini games. I
Mhm.
love like the customization you can do in that sense. um and just on top of everything else you guys said, like it's such a great thing. I feel like I give Nintendo so much shit because like Travis mentioned, they do get in their own way a lot of the time. Like I still roll my eyes with a lot of their business decisions and things like that. But when they have a gem like this, it's like, fuck, I hate that this was so great because I want to hate Nintendo because there's just so many things that they do that I just scratch my head. But then I don't know, for every 10 bad things they get one good thing right, and it's like a great thing. It's like, man,
They're like
this is
DC.
awesome. It is like DC.
They're 100% DC where they make so many errors and whatnot, but then like the Dark Knight or like Wonder Woman or Birds of Prey or Joker comes,
Yeah.
they're like, fuck, they got that magic sauce that sometimes no one else got. And then they'll do a bunch of 5 other things. You're like, what's going on? Why are you harassing Ruby Rose? But then it's just like, oh man, like they made this. So yeah, I
Nintendo's
100
harassing reviews.
yeah, not alleged. Remember, Clay. Don't get any trouble. But yeah, like you're right. When Nintendo is same thing with like their directs too. Like when they're on top and they're in the game, they're sometimes untouchable. You know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And yeah, it's so fun. And like I feel like some of the complicated ideas that they are getting with in the later games, just I didn't really care for too much. I
Oh
like
yeah.
how it's just, it's not like each character has their different dice. It
They don't
adds
move
some
together.
it
No,
adds
I
some,
don't want to
yeah,
move
no,
together.
like things like that. It's kind of an interesting idea, but nothing beats the classic. And yeah, no, it's so phenomenal. Like Taylor mentioned, it's awesome that I'm able to experience these maps and like game modes on the ones that I personally didn't have. Like I haven't really played too many of the ones for the GameCube, so it's nice to get like access to all that stuff. I love too when you're like getting into a mini game, it'll tell you like which game it's from and all that
Oh
thing.
yeah, it's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and just I absolutely love it. I haven't played it too much, so I'm excited to play more of it. But initial thoughts, I think it's phenomenal. I think it's gonna do really well numbers wise because you don't have to be a hardcore gamer, to get it or
No.
something like that. Like, you don't have to have crazy mechanics on the sticks. And like I love the variability of the skill games, or the mini games rather, because some of them are really challenging and some of them are, pretty RNG. But
Yeah.
I feel like for the most part, it's a really healthy balance, and it's really good. Dylan Muss in the chat, shout out the music, dude. It's so good. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love the
Yeah,
the,
and
the
because
tunes in it.
it's great too because it is like the original music, just like obviously redone and like
Hmm.
remastered and stuff like that. But it's just it's so cool. Fracture Voice. So I want to try the 64 emulator yet. Trying to figure out if I want to do that or Ocarina of Time on. No, but I just heard apparently there's lots of problems with it. But I've not looked
Oh
into
really?
that much. Yeah, I
I had
hadn't
a
looked into
buddy
it.
that got it. He was telling me about it because that's the one where you can pay like an extra. It's like an expansion type thing for your
That's like $50 a
online.
year, 50, $60 a year. You get the N64 and you get the Sega, I think, expansion
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's not
for
bad
like
Yeah,
for
50
50
it's
bucks.
it's a really cool idea because like I've never played Majora's Mask before. I really want to, so this would be a good opportunity for it. So I liked that idea. I was entertaining the idea of getting it for sure, especially depending on what games are on there.
I didn't know this. You have the ability to change the music back to the OG Mario Party music. Thanks, Fracture Wolf.
Ooh,
So
I didn't
just
know
like
that.
to
You
the
do
last.
go into the settings. Like they have so many different interchangeable
Okay.
things. It's super cool.
I'll look. Yeah, I hadn't
Another
played the
thing,
settings then, so
another thing to shout out to. I know we talked about it, Travis. Just like the lack of motion controls, like is great.
Oh,
Like you can plug your GameCube
Oh,
controller
yeah.
in and you're good to go, which I think is another huge like point up for me.
Oh yeah, no, fuck motion controls.
fuck motion
Ruins all that
controls.
shit. Last thing is Maddie wanted to ask, and Taylor, you kind of shout out, so I'll start with you because if you want to say if you had anything else on it, but what was your personal favorite Mario Party? Asked us on Patreon. So Taylor, you were saying 7's yours.
7 is my favorite Mario Party. Like I love the aesthetic of it. I love going on the cruise with the whole like Mario fam, and I just have so many good memories of playing that with my family. Just the mini games were also just great. I really didn't mind, like that was when they incorporated for the first time like the microphone on the GameCube, and they had some like sound games, mini games and stuff. So that was a lot of fun. But so that's got the nostalgia hit for me.
What about you, Kirkland?
Probably 2. I didn't play too like I don't even think I owned a Mario Party back in the day. It just whenever I'd go over to my friend's house, they had that one for the N64 and just
Yeah.
very, very iconic. So that's probably is that like the fan favorite, like majority?
I think so. I think most of the people that like, cause I feel like it's the one that got played the most. Cause one was like, oh, there's lots of great idea, need some revision, and then 2 had like just some cool stuff. Even just like putting the characters in costumes was really fun, and then 3 got away from
Yeah.
that a little bit. But yeah, I think 2 is like 2's my favorite as well. It's the one I played the most. It's also just the maps I liked. That does have to go with like the costumes and everything, like having Luigi in a cowboy outfit and stuff like that would always be cool. And the duels were really cool, like the verses and stuff like that, those mini
Yeah.
games. But yeah, I think that's probably the fan favorite. That's still Mus's favorite as well. The other one I chose like an honorable mention. I really liked 4. That was the first GameCube one, Donkey Kong's last one for quite a while. And honestly, you know what? I will shout out. I really do like Super Mario Party, the last one they did for the Switch. I really, because I feel like that was them testing going back to basics. Because like Taylor was talking about, there was all these like different gimmicks they were doing for a while and everything like that. And especially once they did that, I was dying to play new Mario Party. And then when they put that one out where it's like, oh, you move on a train together, it's like, what is this? Like, this is not Mario Party. And I think some point someone did get to them and be like, hey, like, I don't know if sales were down or what the deal was, but it's just like, hey, like people, they want a certain thing with Mario Party. You know, you can change up, do different things, but and even then, if there was like one map where you move together, fine. But the whole game was kind of so. I will give credit to Super Mario Party last one because I feel like that was them starting to go back to basics. So that almost set up, okay, people do like that. Let's remake and do all these. And Super Mario Party, like again, like Fracture Wolf pointed out, I love that 2v2 thing. That is such a fun concept. Like when we played on the stream, just like having to compare the dice rolls and like, okay, well, if you move that way, I can only move this way. Like it's a complete new dynamic to it. So I would shout that out. I might even put that as number 2, to be honest. So,
And since you're mentioning that last one, it reminded me of something that another thing I love about this one is that it's you're not limited to just using the Joy-Cons. I love that you can actually use like the Pro controller and stuff like that. Because I mean, being forced to just like hold your Joy-Con sideways, like on the Switch one, like those are such tiny remotes. And like, you know, I've kind of normal size hands, but like some dudes have fucking huge hands. So imagine trying to like do that and like you got to do your bullshit motion controls with it. It's so nice that they're not like forcing you to use this gimmick that they have because their system can use it. It's just so much better going back to classic.
yeah. Well, gentlemen, we did it. We talked about some news, some trailers, game reviews, all that sort of stuff. Fun newscast. A big shout out to everybody in the chat tonight. This was a fun one. You know, always
Yeah.
shout out to everybody in the chat, but people are having some fun popping off in there. Caught us on some other rants and everything, so that's always good. So we'll be back tomorrow because we're doing a double newscast because we got me and Kirklin will be reviewing Guardians with Clay tomorrow. So we're gonna do a review in progress because we're not done that, but we're doing that. And then we got some other news, got a potential Daredevil game to talk about. I'm sure some other news will break and everything. So we got some stuff, and we may or may not depending on news, we might talk about some Spider-Man leaks. So nothing too crazy. Don't worry, not gonna spoil the movie, but there's been some certain costumes that have come out that maybe we'd take a gander at. It's rectify certain inequities and stuff like that. So anything to say, gentlemen, before we get out of here?
Not at all.
Nothing. Negative.
That was scary. Well,
That
ladies and
was
gentlemen, thank
scary.
you very much for tuning in. And I promise when you hear from us next, it'll not be boring.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Oh, I got Dylan with that tease. You got to tune into more, Dylan.